welcome to another Tinfoil Tuesday. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a wonderful week so far. It's the first time we've gotten to do tinfoil on a Tuesday in like 3 weeks. So I'm glad that we're here. And chat, exciting news on the ball front. I finally have a date for my Orchiectomy. It is scheduled. So it is written. So they'll be chopped. Should be good. Very excited. Very excited, chat. Very excited. So I am probably going to have to take some days off stream. You know, after that, I'm taking a couple weeks off, like, my in-person job. I shouldn't have to take, like, weeks off of this, because it's me sitting in a chair. But, I will be sitting on some sort of donut. So, I'm excited for that. That's going to be awesome. I'm very excited. Oh, a hype train. Thank you. Let's take a look at what's going on in chat that caused this hype train. Unstable Deadbeat, thanks for a 3-stream streak, says Happy Canada Day to all my fellow Canadians out there in Hannahland. Congrats, Canada, on not being America. I wish I was you right now. Fennikagami with 42 months says 42 months. Hey, Hannah. I wish some mainstream would talk to people like you who are familiar with conspiracies so they would know why you never hand it to a conspiracy theorist. Annie McKean with 31 months says Happy July. Everyone hydrate. Will do. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for a 3-stream streak. And then Overthought, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. What's the expected recovery time? 4 weeks, though it depends on what you're talking about. Like a week or two to like walk upstairs and walk around more comfortably. 4 weeks for, I think, pain. 6 weeks before you're supposed to engage in any sort of sexual activity, including arousal. So I have to not be aroused for 6 weeks. That's maybe TMI, but I found that to be an interesting, stipulation. So, that's good. Let's see. Overthought, thanks for gifting 5 subs. Fennikagami with 40 bits says, FYI, if you're wondering why I brought that up, the Young Turks was giving credit to Candace Owens for her appearance on Piers Morgan and complaining that, what, we can't give credit for her criticisms of Israel because she's far right? Oh, Jesus. Alted Undying with 100 bits says Happy Canada Day. Let's see. Sage John, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much. Cthulhu Flower with 28 months says, woo, congrats, Hannah. I remember my labiaplasty recovery. Not fun, but so worth it. Oh, it's gonna be, you have no idea. I'm so relieved just having it scheduled. It's absurd. Bittergrin with 100 bits, thank you very much. Amber says, hey, we know we're all depressed and shit, but the big beautiful bill passed the House with J.D. Vance as the tiebreaker. Still has to pass the House again, and the GOP majority is very narrow. Call your representatives, people. Call every day. Be annoying. Pass the Senate. Yeah, I thought I read a mistake in there. Sorry. I should have corrected that. That's my bad. But yeah, here's hoping. Here's hoping. Anyway, so, if you're on YouTube, do me a favor and like the stream. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to help support the stream, you can become a member on YouTube or subscribe on Twitch. Gift subs also help. We just started our new monthly goal, or already 10 into it on the first day, which is very nice. I don't normally stream on the first, but I work tomorrow, so I can't stream tomorrow, so I definitely wanted to stream today. Also, Friday I won't be streaming because it's the 4th, unless I end up streaming in the morning, but I don't think I will. I have a couple events to go to. Baja has a family thing, and then there's an evening party with some, like, friends, and we're gonna do cookout and s'mores and stuff, so. Should be cool. Happy early Steve Rogers' birthday. Yep, Steve Rogers was born on the 4th of July, for those who don't know. Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much. You're always so generous with me in the chat and helping them avoid ads and helping me keep doing the show. Because this show is brought to you by viewers like you, in particular Nemesaur, who is the GOAT at gift subs. Thank you very much. Dronder says, I just discovered miniature cows and I'm scheduled a trip to the petting zoo. That's a good reason to go to the petting zoo, I'd say. Apparently the top of my bra is showing. Let me fix that. 25% to level 6 on the hype train. Well, that's going. We can go ahead and get started. Let me turn this music off. So, Chris has been gone for almost a month, and he did post a video, but we can't really watch it and enjoy it because, well, Chris doesn't think things through. He decided to do a video at the beach, and anyone who's ever tried to film something at the beach knows what the issue is going to be. I don't even think this is the first time he's tried something like this and had this issue. I just don't think he thinks it out. So this is what the video sounds like.
Trails in the sky, but yet I can't even bring up chemtrails with anybody.
I don't know if you guys know this. The ocean is loud. The ocean's loud. The wind at the ocean's loud. You can't just film there without a lav mic, or at least without doing some sort of noise canceling. What are you doing? So he literally filmed a 17-minute video and uploaded it. I don't know if he didn't look at it or whatever, but it's completely indecipherable. Harold Elbleman with the 3 stream streak says, I record that audio on purpose. It's soothing. Yeah, it's almost like conspiracy noise machine. Yeah. I will call this old man yells at clouds. He's yelling at the sea, but it's close enough. Medicated person, thanks for a 3 stream streak. He did mention chemtrails, so chemtrails on the bingo card. Anyway, so I just thought that was funny. He doesn't post for a month, and then when he comes back, he can't even understand it. So, here's someone we haven't covered before. This is a new Tartaria person. I actually found him through this interview he did on this guy's podcast, YouTube show, whatever you want to call it. So here he is, looking at a building. He appears to go around a specific area where he lives in Cardiff, which is in the UK, if you don't know. He goes around Cardiff and looks for Tartaria buildings. So we'll take a look at that. Just a Peach with a tip says, money in celebration of no balls. Thank you very much. Almost. 2 months. I'm scheduled 2 months out. I'm not going to give you the specific date, because you don't need to know it. But it's coming. It's coming.
I'll start off by saying that I thought that I was videoing, but I just took a photo of myself. So I'll jump right to the second video clip. But all these buildings, the same characteristics. Same characteristics. Okay, so you got the circle windows, then you got the circle windows, and you got this grounding cable.
Okay, so first of all, the windows aren't circular. There's sort of a thing around the window that's circular, but that's not universal to old buildings, so I don't know where he's getting that. And yes, there's a grounding wire because it has a lightning rod. There's a lightning rod on this building. You can see it. On both towers, there's lightning rods. So there's a grounding wire, because that's a thing on lightning rods. But what do I know?
Okay, now that's something that really should make you think. Why is this building just stuck over here with these old-ass stone circle windows that have been filled in with some other kind of venting system, and it still has the Antiquitech antenna sticking up off the top up there, and it has the grounding cable going out of the ground. Something like that. I really want to point out to you, this is what stands out in a world where everything looks like this. These tall-ass stupid buildings, these modern monstrosities of...
Doesn't understand their problem is capitalism on the bingo card, and doesn't understand architecture on the bingo card. Thank you so much for that wonderful hype train, everyone.
Concrete.
Very nice way to start the month. Thank you.
Plastic and glass. And then you come over here, something like this, you see this old brick. All this old brick. You got the old stonework on the very top. The Antiquitech antennas coming down with...
Antiquitech.
The...
It's It's fun to say. Not real, though. Bittergrin, thanks for a 240 stream streak.
Grounding cables. Yeah? Now again, if you want to say, oh, that's lightning rods, the fuck is a lightning rod gonna be in the middle of this building here? You got all these buildings.
First of all, this building was probably built before the other buildings were there, but even if they weren't, lightning comes from the sky. It can come straight down. It can come from the other direction. Where do you think lightning comes from? Do you think it comes in horizontally? What? Bittergrin, thanks for a 240 stream streak.
Around here that aren't grounded. Think about that for a second. So, you're just stepping over here to the side.
Yeah, so you're literally on this other side that's open to the street. So even if it did come in at kind of a slant, there's not a building on this other side. Very weird.
It's an old pub. Well, it's been brought back to life. The building now here says 1913.
Oh yeah, it's been here since 1913. When it was built, it was probably the only building right there. The other building didn't exist.
I believe this is a 1913
Or at least if there were adjacent buildings, they weren't as tall.
building. This one I've never really paid attention to before. We got the stone circle windows up at the top, like that. And let's look at what this other corner over here.
Chitara says, bad news, after 4 months of looking for a job, I thought I finally got hired today, but it turns out I was almost a victim of an identity theft scam. Oh no. On the one hand, I'm still jobless, but on the other hand, if I didn't move through life with a healthy dose of skepticism, I would have been in a lot of trouble on top of everything else in my life. Pro tip, having an unhealthy dose of skepticism is how you end up on Tinfoil Tuesday. Well, I'm glad that you figured it out before you got taken advantage of, because that would have sucked. I'm really sorry that it wasn't a real offer, but good on you for being able to spot the scam before it got too late.
Shows us. So got the pub going on here, and this has been renovated recently. But now I'm gonna zoom in on the top up there and see what I can find on the top of that building there. Okay. First of all, I want to point it out from over there. Again, point out the antipatek antenna and the grounding cables and those windows there, following the design, going all the way across, seeing just the level of detail in all those stones. Yeah, and then let's see how close we can get on the detail of this thing up here. Because this is just, common for 1913 to climb up to the top, start carving this kind of shit with some motherfucking hammer and chisels, no power tools, right? Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's right in the middle of Cardiff, and you can kind of see one of those buildings that they're not knocking down. They're keeping going. Okay, because everything else around here, well, at least all these other buildings that are surrounding this one here are all new compared to this old structure. You can just see the difference between the brutalist modern crap that we do.
The brutalist modern? He thinks a modern skyscraper is brutalist? Jesus Christ, no one show this guy a commie block, he'd lose his fucking mind.
Yes, and again, brutalist modern crap that we do. Like this
It's not brutalist, that's modern. Like, again, look, the modern corporate, like, style, I don't like either. It's not great, but it's not brutalist either. These words have meanings. It doesn't just mean thing I don't like. Quasispec, thanks for 5 months. What's brutalist? Brutalist is like this. Brutalist architecture. It's stuff like this. Lots of, like, concrete. It was big in, like, certain, communist nations. It was sort of utilitarian, but it does have a style. It's brutalism. It's I don't know how to describe it. I'm bad at architecture words. Does anyone want to help? All I can do is vaguely gesture at this and go, this is brutalism.
here, crap. Or right above me, this
Concrete raw forms, lots of right angles. There you go.
crappy thing here.
Crap.
This is just all concrete little blocks stuck together.
Will Kale says, Cardiff, man, this revival of Torchwood is terrible. Oh, I gotta. Sorry. Hannah mentions Blu-rays on the bingo card. Torchwood Season 1, Torchwood Season 2, Torchwood Season 3, Torchwood Miracle Day. We did it. Okay. And I've seen none of them.
together, like stucco. Crap.
Crap.
Okay, so we got over here, you got a lot of this old stuff here,
Old stuff here.
but then you got a lot of this brutal, crappy things over here too. See that?
Crap.
Right? Anyway, this
Why is he? I know he's calling it crap, and that's why. But does he really think that adding a sharding sound effect is ideal?
is now the Cardiff Farms free house. Yeah, this is Cardiff. Anyway, enjoy that. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more simple. I'm out, Mr. 76 signing out.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, follow, and share. Mr. 76 signing out.
Jesus Christ. So I wanted to look at the. Oh, he has a Bigfoot video too. This guy's great. I found him today.
For decades, we've been told Sasquatch is a hoax. Just blurry photos, misidentified animals. But the consistent reports, the suppressed encounters, and the patterns across
Whose encounters of Bigfoot have ever been repressed? There's like 7 different TLC shows about fucking hunting Bigfoot. Like, what are you talking about? Shh, we're not allowed to talk about Bigfoot. It's like Voldemort. If you bring up Bigfoot, you're gonna get slapped in public. Gitara with a 7-stream streak says, yeah, I was actually right at the bit on the onboarding paperwork, or it was asking for all sorts of I-9 and banking info, as well as my social security number. The whole interview process seemed super fishy to me, and I kept ignoring my gut up until that point. Turns out the company they're impersonating is aware of this scam, so that's good at least. Well, I'm really glad you caught it.
time and continents tells a different story. Sasquatch isn't a myth. It's a surviving hominid. A remnant of a pre-human species. A species that existed before the genetic intervention that made us. Ancient records like the Sumerian tablets speak of sky beings who came here and altered Earth's original inhabitants. They didn't help us evolve. They rewrote us. They took what was here and changed it. The result? Modern humanity. Weaker, more dependent, easier to program.
Does he just want to be a Bigfoot? Like, does he just want to be a furry? So he thinks that human beings are lesser than, like, a hairy Bigfoot hominid? I'm not gonna kink shame this man if he wants to be some sort of, like, stinky Sasquatch man. I just think maybe he's projecting a fetish onto a conspiracy, which is not uncommon, I guess.
Not all of the originals were wiped out. Some survived in remote forests and
Plus, you get paid pretty well from the beef jerky sponsorships, so that's nice.
hidden valleys, avoiding us because they remember what we've forgotten. This isn't cryptozoology. This is forbidden anthropology. And
This isn't cryptozoology, it's forbidden anthropology. That line actually goes harder than it has any right to. That should have been in an X-Files episode.
connects directly to the UFO phenomenon, abduction accounts, and hidden military operations. Sasquatch, UFO.
Haley says he definitely just wants to be a Bigfoot in the woods. To be fair, being an adult human kinda sucks. Yeah, but most of us have the dignity to hide our kinks in shame.
UFOs,
Not post about them on the internet. Like it's a conspiracy and not just a thing you're into.
hybrid genetics. These aren't separate mysteries.
Aliens did it on the bingo card? Yes.
They're chapters in the same hidden history. And that history is starting to resurface.
Benikagami says, Hannah, you don't understand. There have to be suppressed Bigfoot encounters because all the ones that are out there make Bigfoot beliefs look ridiculous. It's like what they do with aliens.
Now, I find this is a particularly interesting one. I've zoomed in, I've played around with the contrast and the brightness, and looking for movement in the background. And I can see quite a lot. Now, I'm terrible with the editing as far as slow motions and stuff, so I'm just kind of explaining the background. You start seeing all these dark shadows that are moving. There's even something that looks like it's climbed up a tree, like a small one. I think that there's a whole family of these Sasquatch, and they're walking in the woods there. The one that showed itself is the one that's kind of distracting from the rest, but there's a lot of them there. So this person who's walking up is just supposed to be You can see the one that just popped up from the background. It's
Marco says, speaking of people whose conspiracy is actually the rarely disguised not safe for work interest, has the guy who sounds like Hans who did the reading of the human milk bar story done anything else interesting in a while? No, I checked last week and he hadn't posted anything interesting. There was another video that was like based on a weird drawing, but it wasn't as interesting. What's this music? Let's call it crazy core. Conspiracy core. There we go, that's less ableist. Conspiracy core.
really hard to see them, but they do exist in this, in here. And you can start seeing some of them getting closer and closer, like this one. The guy's just standing there next to that tree. And in the background, you see some glimmers of eye shine as well. Like coming up over here, you see some eye shine. Right there between those two trees.
Oh, real quick, wait. Sorry, I'm asking my wife to get me a box of mac and cheese. I'm craving mac and cheese for dinner. Gitara says, you know, if there was a Bigfoot, I feel like ecologist would have found one by now, either dead or alive. Something that big with apparent intelligence would be able to hide from... Rather, wouldn't be able to hide from a dedicated scientist with a chip on their shoulder or something to prove. And also, I would argue, based on the way that, like, the Sasquatch is described in mythology, it would have some kind of intelligence. If it was a hominid, like, it would be more intelligent than, like, a bear. It would probably leave a lot... It would leave a lot of evidence of its existence, if I'm being honest. Maybe rudimentary tools, some signs, like drawings or markings that are like more than just scratches, but like intentional, like I was here marks. I'm thinking like old humans like pressing their fucking handprints onto like walls and stuff. Grave sites, even elephants fucking have grave sites. Like, yeah. Alden Undying says, am I correct in assuming you heard about Tom Baker's Scratch Man? What is... Oh! I am familiar with it. I have not read it. But I have heard of it.
Two of them. One of them pops out from the right of the tree, and one of them pops out from the left of the tree, while this one was standing on the side of the tree as well. So it just kind of highlights that there's some shit going on in these woods.
Sorry. Okay, I'm done. I gotta get that goddamn mac and cheese.
If you keep on asking questions, I'll leave you with that. Mr. 76 signing.
CC has a new video. It's indecipherable. Someone on YouTube mentioned the CC video. He films it in front of the ocean, and you can't hear a single word he says.
Yeah.
And yes, Hannah mentions cheese on the bingo card.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck my life. Fuck this. Fuck off.
It's almost like there's a movie playing.
Let's take a look at the bingo card real quick, and then we'll watch some of this interview, and then we'll move on to some other people. We have... Hannah mentions cheese. Doesn't understand architecture. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. Tartaria. Old man yells at clouds. Is there anything else? Oh, chemtrails. Chris mentioned chemtrails in the one little thing that we could decipher. Is Antiquitech 93. You know what? Yeah, that would make sense. Ancient wisdom on the bingo card as well. Think that's it? Question mark? Oh yeah, and aliens did it for mutating hominids into human beings. I like that he thinks that human beings are less advanced than other hominids that are extinct. That's fun.
And people have,
That's a good way of putting it.
it's almost like there's a movie
I skipped roughly the first 4 minutes of this video. They just did little introductions and stuff. This is where they kind of get into discussing their conspiratorial beliefs.
playing, and people have decided to push the pause at where they've limited their self to understanding anything farther.
Do you think that that's compounded by people worrying about the cost of living, and then we had the pandemic, and do you think that these things, and then obviously now the latest news is Iran? Do you think that this is all done to distract us enough to stop looking into things like Tartaria?
This man thinks that it's possible that the situation in the Middle East between Israel and Iran, a situation that is not manifested this year, but has been a part of international relations for decades and decades, he believes that it is actually in place potentially to hide the truth of Tartaria and the mud flood from people. So that's something. Not something true, but something.
Listen, Guy, you're talking to someone who really well and truly believes in the fact that we live under a control system, a system that is built to keep us in line. Yeah, it's properly to keep us in line. And everything that we hear in the media really has to be looked at with a fine-tooth comb and to see what they're trying to shift our emotions towards. Yeah, it's not just presenting news anymore. It's presenting news in the fashion to sway our opinion towards whatever they want us to believe. And this comes back to, Iran, what's happening in Israel, in Gaza, the Ukraine, these big worldwide events which they want to paint a specific picture. And if the mainstream media are selling it to us in a particular way, I am the guy who, I'm not alone in this, but I'm a guy who will ask questions every single time and will shake my head as to just being able to see through that veil. And I think, like yourself,
what's important is you think you're better than everyone else, and that's healthy. Overthought says they're all wrong. The war is to distract us from the fact that there are beans on the moon. Oh, bears on the moon. Sorry, I thought you said there were beans on the moon. Can they be bears eating beans? I like beans. I like bears.
And like a lot of others, once we step out of that bubble, we're able to see it from a different perspective. And some people, unfortunately, just fall in line a little bit too easily. And I think it comes back to, for me, once I realized
magic beans, they're on the moon, they're probably magic.
Tartaria wasn't just a theory, it wasn't just some science fiction afterthought. To me, it was something that, okay, I can see it, I've evaluated, I've visited, I've touched the stones, I've turned my own thinking into okay, this happened. Then it started really hitting me. Well, if this happened and this was so widely covered up, then everything.
I find it interesting that conspiracy theorists are actively undergoing like a reverse enlightenment, in that they are actively eschewing like evidence-based belief. They have shifted entirely into this worldview that their subjective viewpoints and their internal, how do I put this? Their intuitive thoughts are of more value than anything empirical. And I find that horrifying and fascinating, seeing people go down a path where they actively look at the incredible things in the world that we have discovered and achieved due to empiricism and going, nah, I just kind of want to vibe it out. Not great. Not ideal.
Everything since is a lie, or at least built on the foundation of a lie. So that's where I really started my approach to looking for truth and finding, evidence of their lies everywhere we go.
Where can we get your books from?
My books are now available on Amazon and on Lulu.com. Yeah, Lulu, I've done a self-publishing, and I put them both onto Amazon as well. I've got the third book on its way. I'm just in the post-editing stage of trying to make it look snazzy. It's called The Blue Book, Welcome to the Real World. It's going to be a follow-up to the Yellow Pages. I've already got ideas of how to follow that up. I'm going to do one book at a time. But in between there, I keep on pausing. I got a lot of things. I got a lot of things
Yeah.
going on. So I keep on pausing.
What's your favourite subject out of all of the Tartarian things? Whether it's the World's Fairs, the Empire, the Orphan Trade, the reset itself, do you have a particular favourite?
I've grown accustomed to really looking at the fact about the energies and who the Tartarians really were, trying to step outside of any mainstream theories about just humanity to looking at that they possibly exceeded or transcended what we understand as humanity now. So I've left myself really in that realm of I put a whole video.
We should read these guys' books. Maybe. I would imagine that they're probably a pain in the ass to read. How legible could they possibly be? Let me see. How many books has this fucker written? Oh wait, was this his books? These are the other guy's books. For my books, Tesla and the Cabbage Patch Kids and the Rise of Clones, please visit my Amazon page.
If you guys know anything about me, about my content that I create, I put a whole series together called Tartarian World, where I'm looking all over the place at different buildings and kind of exploring the wider Tartaria theory. Then I zoomed in on my Tartaria Whale series, which is me doing boots on the ground exploration. Every time I'm in different city centers or different buildings, I'm kind of pulling my phone out and talking my way through them around whales. But then I decided to kind of bridge.
No, this isn't Cabbage Guy. That belief isn't only something Cabbage Guy believes. Like, he made that video and then it got relatively popular. So there's a decent number of Tartaria people that believe that Cabbage Patch thing now. If not literally, at least metaphorically.
And hit it hard with the I Am a Tartarianist series, which I've come up with 101 episodes.
I am a real Tartarian. Flood with the mud on every man.
Covering every last bit of the theory from my perspective and using my voice to get across a specific topic within the Tartarian theory. And we're
all right, we'll move on from this guy. Oh, this is a short one.
So is anybody else hearing about like the Galactic Wars, the Anunnaki War going on right now? I've heard numerous places that there's like fire-looking sky, like fire-looking lightning coming down. There's cracking noises. There's the loud boom noises.
Ma'am, are you familiar with thunderstorms? Those are thunderstorms. Those are atmospheric events. They have nothing to do with space. You're describing storms.
What else was there? The Anunnaki message that came on. I forget where. I've just been hearing this all over the place, where that it's like the war's going on above Washington.
Damn, she's filtered. Yeah. A lot of people use a lot of filters. Say what you will about me. I'm not wearing filters.
Just everywhere. What is going on? Am I hearing things? Like, am I hearing things? I mean, I know I hear a lot of things, but what's going on? Anybody else? I haven't really heard anything like going on.
Oh, she's got fake lash. I didn't even notice her lashes are a filter too. Holy shit. That's so weird.
Here in Texas, it's more so up there, but let me know what y'all think. Or what you've heard, because I want to know. I really want to know. Like, why don't they just show us? They've already talked about it. Just show us. There's nothing more we're surprised by these days. Nothing. Okay. Meh.
Oh, I found that obnoxious. Orion Cooper with a $5 super chat says, I'm now looking for names for the opposite of the Great Enlightenment. How about either the Great Bewilderment or the Great Benightedness? The Bewilderment's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Oh, this is funny. I was looking for reptilian videos, and I think I found someone's fetish. Hold on. Maybe yours.
Human, you must breed with the both of us now. The chain bit into his wrist, raw and unforgiving, but Jake refused to scream. He just bit back a laugh. Breed? You mean like make little lizard babies? Pretty sure my plumbing's not set up for that, darling.
This is a 43-minute video. This is a 43-minute video That's just fetish pornography.
Voice rough from days without water, still carried that infuriating human sarcasm. He hung suspended, barely, in the glowing crystalline cage, his breath catching in the thin, metallic air of the ritual arena. This goddamn moon. 1 minute he was
This goddamn moon! They're gonna make me have sex in front of this arena full of people and impregnate these aliens! I hate when that happens. Okay, moving on. People asking for the link. You have the whole internet available to you. I promise you can find something like this. This wasn't written by AI. I promise you, you can find a story about someone being captured by aliens and forced to breed with them that was written by a real human being. And it'll be better for you. AO3, go look it up.
Friends, I want to...
Speaking of AI slop, here's our AI slop video of today. I try to keep it to one per stream, so here's our one. Chitara says, by the light of Paul, cease your alien breeding kinks, you vile machine. Also, they seriously couldn't pick a more seductive voice for their fetish content. Maybe they're also into stilted AI voices. It really gets the people going.
My friends, I want to open your eyes today to a reality that many people ignore because it is edible. Just because something can be tasted and swallowed does not mean it is only physical. The wind is invisible, but it has force. Electricity is unseen, but it gives light to your home.
You can see electricity in many cases. Just for the record, you can see it arcing in many cases. Electricity isn't always invisible.
In the same way, spiritual forces are real. And among those spiritual forces...
Okay, the minute spiritual forces power my Xbox, let me know.
...are those assigned to contaminate, weaken, and distract your life. You were born with a divine purpose. You were conceived with a mission. Before your mother met your father, God had already written your assignment in the books of heaven.
He was drunk when he wrote that page.
You were sent to earth because something that God wanted done could not be completed until you arrived. But let me show you something dangerous. Just because God has a plan for you...
I'm sorry, is that supposed to be a biblical figure with a selfie stick? I hate the future.
...does not mean you will fulfill it. You can miss it. You can lose it. You can eat your way out of it. That's why the Bible says in Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be renewed in your mind. Because while you are spiritually unaware, while you are satisfying your flesh, there are forces that move into position to hijack what God gave you. The enemy is good at hiding. He wraps himself in convenience, in speed, and in the cravings of your own stomach.
This video is about how certain fast food restaurants are demonic, if it wasn't clear, by the way.
The enemy knows something critical. He knows that food is...
There's a bunch of AI biblical vlog videos on TikTok. I'm so old at this point, I don't have TikTok on my phone. I don't go on TikTok. There's a huge portion of the internet that is just a black box to me. I don't know what's on TikTok. Fennec-Gami says, considering that most people misunderstand how SA is about power, it's very main character syndrome how many of these people think either they are alien hybrids or going to be forced bred. I mean, it's a kink thing. I'm not going to get that deep into it.
Covenant. From the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden to the Holy Communion, food has always been a point of transaction. It seals agreements. It establishes connection. When you eat, you are doing more than satisfying hunger. You are participating in a spiritual act. You think you're just ordering a burger, but in the spiritual dimension, you are making a covenant. You are signing a contract with the spirits that operate behind that corporation. And you...
Sir, this is a Wendy's?
Wake up spiritually tired and...
You think that ordering a Baconator is gonna send you to hell? If ordering a Baconator sends me to hell, I'll see you all there. I hope they have Frosties.
Don't know why. You wake up feeling heavy, confused, and disconnected from God. Things in your life begin to fall apart, and you can't understand the reason. It's because you didn't just eat processed food. You consumed a spiritual poison. You swallowed bondage. Today, I am here
You swallowed bondage. Careful, you're gonna get people going to these restaurants even more.
to expose 7 of these altars disguised as fast food chains. These are places plagued by witchcraft, designed to steal your destiny. You must be wise. You must be discerning.
If KFC was gonna steal my destiny, it wasn't much of a destiny to begin with, was it?
Your spiritual life depends on it. Number 1, McDonald's. You see its golden arches everywhere, a symbol more recognized than the cross. But what does these golden
I
arches
don't think
truly
that's necessarily true.
represent? It is not just a letter. It is a gateway, an entry point for a spirit of haste and impatience that is warring against the peace of God in your life. This corporation was built on speed, faster service, faster food, faster consumption. This spirit of impatience
I don't know, man. Have you been to McDonald's in the last 5 years? They're not all that fast anymore. It takes like 20 minutes to get your food sometimes. Mr. Duck Sauce with a 5-stream streak says, Fuck it, I'll read it. Feed my bussy bondage, please. Yes, Daddy.
is demonic.
Don't put that on a soundboard.
It is
I'll
designed
haunt you.
to pull you out of the quiet place of God's timing and into the frantic rush of the world. Remember the Israelites in the desert. They grew impatient, waiting for God's provision, and grumbled against Moses. This same spirit of impatience is what McDonald's feeds you. When you
Sorry, Jitara. Jitara says, I mean, cosmically we're all stardust, and that's kind of cool. Other than that, this guy is just yapping.
eat their food, you are partaking in this spirit.
Also, that's not... The Israelites wandered the desert because they refused to fight the people in the Promised Land, and because they had doubts, basically. They didn't trust God. So God then made them wander for 40 years, if I remember correctly. It's the story when they go investigate the Promised Land, and they come back and they have, like, giant fruits and stuff, and they're like, we can't fight the people that are there. No, the golden calf is a separate thing. The golden calf is when Moses comes down with the tablets the first time, realizes they have the golden calf that they're worshiping. He smashes the tablets, he melts down the calf, makes a bunch of people drink it, kills a bunch of the Israelites, and then he goes back up and gets new tablets.
You are agreeing with it. Suddenly, you find yourself becoming more anxious. You find it harder to wait on God. You can't sit still in prayer. Your soul is restless.
I like the idea that that's someone's deconversion story, as like, I used to pray all the time and God's service just wasn't as prompt as McDonald's, so I kind of lost faith.
Why? Because you have eaten from the altar of hurry. Furthermore, their marketing is aimed directly at children with the Happy Meal. They use toys and colorful packaging to create a soul tie from a young age. A soul tie is a spiritual connection. By giving your children their meals, you are unknowingly initiating them into a covenant with these spirits. The toys are not innocent. Like the cursed objects I have warned about before, these plastic figures can act as spiritual entry points into your home.
Do you guys remember the horrifying Matthew Broderick Inspector Gadget toy from McDonald's? Hold on. Matthew Broderick Happy Meal toy. When Matthew Broderick was Inspector Gadget, they did they did a toy, and this was it. This was Matthew Broderick Happy Meal toy. Isn't he fantastic? Look at those shoulders. He's built like something. Not sure what. Certainly not a human, but he's built like something. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. It's Matthew Broderick. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Boop-boop. Manslaughter! Matthew Broderick killed someone and got away with it. Anyway, continuing. Google it.
You bring them in, and you bring in the spirits attached to them. Spirits of distraction, rebellion, and discontentment. Jesus gave a chilling warning in Matthew 18:6 about causing little ones to stumble. What could be a greater stumbling block than introducing a child to a
Green Guy says, Hannah, what is a bussy? You see, when Talk to your parents.
Spiritual covenant with a demonic spirit of mammon and haste. And the food itself, it is prepared with an intention that is not of God. It is designed to be addictive, to create a craving that is unnatural. This is a form of witchcraft. It is a potion mixed to bind your appetite, to make you a servant to your cravings, rather than
I think it's just a McFlurry.
a servant of God. Number 2, Burger King. The second chain operates under the guise of royalty.
Yes, I'm sure they take their royalty standing very seriously at the Burger King.
Burger King. Its slogan for decades was, "Have it your way." This sounds like freedom, but it is a subtle and dangerous deception. It is a direct appeal to the flesh and the pride of life, the very things the Bible warns us against. The spirit behind this corporation is a spirit of rebellion. It whispers, "You are the king."
Ryan Cooper says I had to explain bussy to my dad a few years ago. Why? Just say no. Just say Google it. It's another good reason I don't have a relationship with my parents, on top of their rampant homophobia and support for Trump.
You are in charge.
Not gonna explain bussy to full-grown adults.
Your desires should be law. This directly opposes the spirit of submission to God. When you eat their food,
God, at Burger King, I get to decide I don't want pickles on my burger.
you are agreeing with this
I think religion should work the same way for some reason.
rebellious mindset. You are saying, "My will be done," not "Thy will be done." This is the same spirit that caused Lucifer's fall. In Isaiah 14, verses 13 to 14, the scripture describes his rebellion, where he repeated 5 times, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will make myself like the Most High." This desire to have it his own way cast him out of heaven. When you eat at Burger King, you are feasting on the same spirit of pride that started the first rebellion. You start to notice a change in your attitude. You become more stubborn. You resist authority, whether it's in the church,
Man, they just wanted fucking onion rings. It's not the end of the world.
at your job, or in your
Green guy says, I think Trump supporters love bussy. I don't think that's true. We will not denigrate bussy lovers in this household.
home. You want to have it your way in every area of your life.
Bussy moratorium. I'm nipping this in the bussy, by the way. I mean the bud. No more bussy mentions for the rest of the stream. The joke has run out. We're done. We are fresh out of bussy.
Forgetting that a believer's life is about surrender to God's way. Proverbs 16:18 warns us, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." Think about their mascot, a smiling king. This is not just a character. In the spiritual dimension, it is an idol. It is a representation
They
of a
couldn't even get the AI to look more like Burger King.
principality of pride and self-worship. When you eat under that sign, you are giving honor to that spirit. You are participating in idolatry without even knowing it. Let me go further. Their food, like a witch's brew, is enchanted with this spirit of rebellion. You consume it, and that spirit begins to work in your soul.
Do Jimmy John's.
It causes division in your relationships
I eat Jimmy John's somewhat regularly.
because you become unwilling to compromise. It hinders your spiritual growth because you cannot be taught. Number 3, Starbucks. The third entity is not a food chain in the traditional sense, but it is one of the most powerful, Starbucks. Its logo is the most obvious of all, yet millions of Christians carry its cup every day.
It's like a
They
mermaid.
have put a siren, a demonic water spirit, on their merchandise. This is not a mermaid. The company's own website confirms it is a two-tailed siren from Norse mythology.
Oh, okay.
A siren is a creature that lures sailors to their death with its enchanting song. It is a spirit of seduction,
Overpriced coffee.
distraction, and destruction. And this company has placed this demon on every cup, every bag, every sign. It is a blatant display of witchcraft hiding in plain sight. It is an idol, an image that God's people are commanded.
I appreciate that on the tablets, the AI made it like sort of trying to do Hebrew and it gave up halfway through and just started doing English. That's good work. That's good work. I'm glad thousands of people are losing their jobs to these things. They work so well.
To avoid. Exodus 20.
You're tired of generative AI slop? Me too! Kinda seems like they're not gonna stop, though. So that's fun.
4 says, "You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below." When you buy their coffee, you are funding a corporation that openly uses occult symbolism.
I'm sorry, is that Venom peeing directly into his coffee? Is that bootleg Venom straight up pissing into his coffee? It's like bootleg clip art Venom pissing directly into his coffee, but also he's like handing the coffee to the barista, and the barista's handing money to the customer, and he's already got a coffee in this hand. I got nothing.
But it's worse than that. You are entering into a covenant with the spirit.
He's celebrating Pissmas. Oh, I'm excited for Pissmas this year, by the way, because I found a pretty good documentary that we're gonna watch, but we gotta wait, you know? Hold on, I'm picking what mac and cheese I want. We'll go with the Cabot Creamery, because I think their cheese is done at a co-op, and I like their shit too. It's delicious. Hell yeah. Why is Pissmas a thing? Because we used to cover pee-related videos that were like people who think that drinking pee is a medicine on normal tinfoil days sometimes, but some people are super against it for some reason. So I did a tip goal to do a moratorium, and then every year when the moratorium is up, we do a Pissmas. And then people have an opportunity to do another moratorium.
Represented by the siren. You are carrying its symbol with you. You are becoming a walking advertisement for a demon. You have brought an awful thing into your house, your car, your office. You wonder why you are battling with lustful thoughts. You wonder why you are so easily
I'm so horny because of this macchiato.
Distracted from your purpose.
This espresso just gets me bricked the fuck up for some reason.
You wonder why your finances are being shipwrecked. You are drinking from the siren's cup. You have been seduced by its enchanting aroma and worldly appeal. This is the spirit of Delilah, who seduced Samson and lulled him into a deep sleep so his anointing and strength could be stolen from him. And what is in the coffee? It is not just caffeine. There is a spiritual element. This corporation is known for its obsession with its brand and image, a form of worship. The entire process is a ceremony.
Every large company is obsessed with their brand and image. What? Bittergrin says, I'm not battling with lustful thoughts, and stop trying to sell me Starbucks. I'm still boycotting them.
And the final product is a potion designed to make you dependent. It's a form of liquid witchcraft that makes you feel sophisticated and worldly while draining you of your spiritual power.
Does anyone feel sophisticated drinking Starbucks? Ah, the most common coffee in the world. Fancy.
Can't pray without it. You can't function.
Okay, I'm skipping to the next fucking thing.
Spirit, not a dumping ground for demonic potions. Ask
Don't tell me what I can dump in my body.
the Holy Spirit to cleanse you. You do not need a siren's brew to fulfill your calling. You need the fire of the Holy Ghost. The fourth chain we must address is KFC.
Lennon Cat with 40 bits says, this sounds very much like the Catholic Church's response to nuns liking chocolate too much. And Fennikagami says, if fast food is how I go to hell, why the fuck am I still strapped in Peter Thiel's transhumanist Ayn Rand dystopia where he and his cohorts are dead set on genociding the poor? I wish I had an answer for you, man.
The danger here is not simply the secret recipe, which is easily dismissed as a business tactic. The witchcraft here is far more subtle and ministers directly to the flesh in a way that wages war against your spirit. Their famous slogan says it all.
Sorry, what does this naked man have to do with chicken? Gitara says, Paul happened upon a cove in his travels across the great sea beyond the ice wall. A siren called unto him and said, Dear sailor, relinquish thy treasures and thy name, and in exchange the blessed nectar sought birds of the morn will be awarded unto thee. Paul responded to the siren, I'll pass, thanks. I could brew this at home, way cheaper. Book of Paul, Consumers 318. And Spokane Dogman, thanks for a 3-stream streak.
All. It's finger-licking good. This is not just an advertisement, it is a spiritual declaration. It is a call to a sensual, carnal experience that elevates flesh.
This video, why is the AI obsessed with turning fast food into a horny thing? I've never once eaten KFC and been like, oh yeah, this is doing it for me. Don't get me wrong, I'll eat KFC, but it's like greasy. It's like really low quality fried chicken. It's like the bottom of the barrel in terms of fried chicken. And people are eating it sensually. Just, ooh, the grease.
Fleshly gratification above all else. The Bible is clear about the war between our spirit and our flesh. Galatians 5:17 warns, For the flesh desires what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit what is contrary to the flesh. They are in conflict with each other, so that you are not to do whatever you want. When you partake of
Oh yeah, by the way, this is random. For a long time, I thought that I was just like so on chicken wings. Turns out, I just don't like Buffalo Wild Wings very much. The only chicken wings I'd ever eaten were from Buffalo Wild Wings. And then some weeks ago, I went to the Detroit Wing Company, which is a wing place in Michigan, and it was great. So apparently Buffalo Wild Wings just sucks ass. So that's good to know.
KFC, you are not just eating chicken. You are making a covenant with your flesh. You are intentionally choosing to indulge a craving so powerful it demands a physical response, licking your fingers, an act of complete surrender to sensory pleasure.
I'm not going to enter the joke. I'm going to move past all the jokes I want to make. We don't have time for oral fixation jokes. We're just gonna...
This act feeds the part of you that is hostile to God. Romans 8:7 says, The mind
I used to love God, but now I just love to suck.
governed by the flesh is hostile to God. It does not submit to God's law, nor can it do so. The true secret of the 11 herbs and spices is not just a flavor profile. It is a formula for addiction. It is a potion masterfully designed to create a craving that is difficult to resist, thereby strengthening the hold of the flesh over your spirit. It makes self-control and fasting more difficult. It dulls your spiritual senses by overstimulating your physical ones. Think of Esau, who sold his eternal birthright for a single meal. Genesis 25 describes how he came
He's not nearly hairy enough.
in from the field, famished, and cared for nothing but
For those that don't remember, Jacob and Esau was like a hairy wild man. He's like incredibly hairy. He's like Robin Williams level of hairy. Yeah, I didn't make him hairy at all.
satisfying the immediate, desperate craving of his flesh. For a bowl of stew, he gave away his divine inheritance. KFC offers you that same transaction, a moment of intense, fleshly satisfaction in exchange for a weakening of your spiritual resolve and birthright. Number 5, Taco Bell. The fifth chain you must be wary of
Famously the winner of the franchise wars.
operates under the imagery of a bell. Taco Bell. The bell itself is a significant symbol. Bells in witchcraft and pagan rituals are used to invoke spirits, to call them into a ritual space. The constant ringing of this symbolic bell in their advertising is a spiritual invocation. It is calling on spirits of confusion and compromise. Furthermore, this chain is known for its late-night hours. The night is a time when spiritual activity, both divine and demonic, is heightened. The Bible says, while men slept, the enemy came.
Remember when you were drunk at 3 a.m. and really wanted Taco Bell? Turns out that wasn't just a bad life choice, it was demons.
This chain has positioned itself as an altar for the night, drawing people in when their spiritual defenses are down. They come seeking to satisfy a physical craving, but they leave with a spiritual attachment. They have eaten from...
Can I just say this too? I've never been big on the whole Taco Bell when drunk or high thing. Maybe this is just me. I'm a pasta gal. Big on pasta. Need carbs. You need like Olive Garden, or if you can't get that, even fucking Frizzolis. Does Frizzolis still exist anywhere for you people?
a compromised altar. Their menu items have names that are nonsensical and chaotic. This is not an accident. Confusion is a hallmark of the demonic.
Tortillas are carbs, but they're not cheesy enough for me to enjoy.
Literally feeding you a product of chaos and confusion. You must guard your spiritual gates.
There's no R in Fazoli's, my bad. Fazoli's, for those that don't know, is like, it's like the McDonald's of Italian fast food. It's like fast food Italian. It's terrible, it's great, you can get copious carbs and cheese. It's bad, but it's great. It's bad, but it's great.
Do not...
It's the Taco Bell of Italian food.
Eat from the table of compromise.
American Italian.
Do not answer the call of the demonic.
The breadsticks are great. They just blast them with garlic powder. Stone Corbell says, is this for real or is it AI-generated conspiracy grifter slop? The latter.
Bell. Your life in Christ is meant to be one of clear conviction, not of blurry mixture. Renounce the spirit of mixture. Number 6. Pizza Hut and Domino's. The final chain is not one, but a category. The great pizza temples like Pizza Hut and Domino's. This one is perhaps the most insidious, because it is so deeply connected with family gatherings and celebrations. It has inserted itself as a ritualistic part of life. The spirit behind these corporations is a spirit of false fellowship. It replaces true Christ-centered community with a shallow fellowship built around a box.
Bitch, it's a pizza! You fucking eat it! What do you want? Your food does not dictate the tone of the fucking event?
It becomes a substitute for the breaking of bread that early believers shared.
It's literally, it's food! It's food! Fucking eat it! Fucking hang out with people!
With gladness and sincerity of heart, as described in Acts 2:42. Think about how it operates. A call is made, an order is placed, and a delivery is made to your home.
Also, you can make your own pizza. Like, we have a pizza oven, so we buy, like, dough from the store, and we make our own pizzas on, like, in a pizza oven. Is that demonic? Freyline says, I've changed my mind. AI is amazing. This is hilarious.
A stranger brings an offering to your doorstep. You accept it, bring it inside, and share it with your family. This is a spiritual transaction. You have allowed an outside offering to become the centerpiece of your family time. This is a modern parallel.
It's not demonic, it's DiGiorno. Fuck, that's so good.
To the story of Belshazzar's feast in Daniel 5. King Belshazzar took the holy vessels from God's temple and used them for his
And the Lord saith, thou shalt avoid the noid.
Pagan party. God's judgment came swiftly. Are we not doing the same when we take the holy gathering of our family and dedicate it to a corporate box? Look at the symbolism. Many of these places use triangles, pyramids, and even imagery that looks like an all-seeing eye. These are Masonic and occult symbols.
What?
You are bringing these symbols into your home, stamped on the box, and placing them on your dinner table. You are literally eating from a box dedicated to occult powers. You are feeding your children from an altar that bears the symbols of secret societies that oppose Jesus Christ. This is how
What are his thoughts on Church's chicken? I've actually never had Church's chicken, and they have no comment.
witchcraft works. It does not announce itself. It comes disguised as a birthday party. It comes disguised as a Friday night treat. It uses your desire for ease and celebration to plant its seed in the heart of your family. The enemy wants to own your moments of fellowship, because if he can control your fellowship, he can contaminate it. You must reclaim your family altar. Your dinner table should be a place for God's presence, not a resting place for a box bearing occult symbols. Purge your home of their influence. When you are finished with that pizza box, do not just throw it away. Recognize the symbols on it, renounce the spirits behind them, and destroy it as an act of spiritual warfare.
Unironically, 171,000 people have seen this video. This is a channel with almost 300,000 subscribers. This means that somewhere in America, there are some crackpot parents who are probably making their children, like when they order pizza, do weird prayers over it to denounce these make-believe secret symbols. Like, this is almost certainly, as funny as this is to laugh at, crazy people watch this and they take it seriously. This is actually going to affect certain people.
Back your home and your family table for the glory of God. Now you have been shown the truth. I know this is hard to hear. It is easier to believe that food is just food. But ignorance is not a defense in the spiritual war we are in. Your enemy uses every avenue to gain access.
This just looks like a meme that would get posted on, like, a pro-ED forum. What the fuck? Oh, God.
To your life, and your appetite is one of his favorite doors. You have suffered from delay, from being stuck, from division.
ED, eating disorder, not erectile dysfunction. Orion Cooper with a $2 super chat says, is this a kid that wasn't invited to pizza parties? Worse, it's an AI with no thoughts in its head at all.
And you have been praying, but not purging. You cannot fight this with intellect. You fight it with revelation and action. You must guard your life, your home, and your family like a soldier. I challenge you today. Do not treat this message as mere information. Treat it as a divine warning. Take inventory of your habits. What have you been eating? What covenants have you been making without your knowledge? It is time to cleanse your temple. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. It was bought with a great price. You cannot defile it by offering it up to the corporate altars of witchcraft. You were born for dominion, not for defeat. Rise and cover your food with prayer. But more than that, use discernment.
I hate anti-fast food dominionists.
About where your food comes from. Your destiny is too precious to be sold for a cheap meal. Let us pray. Father, in the
Oh my God. You'd think Christians would find this incredibly sacrilegious, having an AI fake pray. Oh my.
name of Jesus, I repent for my ignorance. I repent for eating from these compromised altars.
Like, is this not incredibly sacrilegious?
I renounce every spirit of haste, pride, seduction, secrecy, self-righteousness, compromise, and false fellowship.
Even God's sick of getting AI slop in his fucking inbox. Oh, I got a new batch of prayers. Oh, it's just fucking AI again. Fuck.
That I have partnered with. I plead the blood of Jesus over my life, my body, and my family. Let every curse, spell, and incantation spoken over the food I have eaten be nullified right now in the name of Jesus. I break every soul tie to these corporations. My loyalty is to the kingdom of God alone. My appetite will be submitted to the Holy Spirit. I declare that my body is a...
Aren't there some conspiracy theorists who think AI is demons? Yes, but they've gotten drowned out by the majority of conspiracy theorists that love AI, because AI, as I've discussed before, is a sycophancy machine. Conspiracy theorists love sycophancy. They crave it. Their entire worldview is based upon trying to create a worldview that allows them to just be comforted and never be challenged. So the idea of a machine that exists to rationalize things for them, they love it. They love it.
Temple for the presence of God. No weapon formed against me through food shall prosper. I walk in divine health,
Didn't Jesus say something about ignoring the people who pray in public because the social currency is its own reward and thus they aren't truly humble? Yes, I forget the exact wording, but he did say that people who pray publicly are hypocrites who just want to be seen as holier than thou than actually having some sort of spiritual connection with God.
Supernatural protection and uncommon discernment in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Your season of supernatural turnaround has begun. The tables are turning in your favor. As 1 John 4:4 says, "Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." You are more than a conqueror through Christ who loves you. The battle is not yours, but God's. And when God fights for you, victory is guaranteed. Hallelujah.
All right, so don't eat fast food or else the devil will get up in your bussy or whatever. I don't know. Okay, moving on.
Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be doing my predictions video for July through December of 2025.
Oh, that's good. Let's get all these out of the way. Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, the anti-fast food thing sounds like a way to hate on working parents that don't have time to cook, practically women that work. It might be. It might also just be algorithm chasing. I don't know.
Through what I've remote viewed and channeled and other information that I've known that I'm waited to release in a video like this. So I'm filming on some rocks today by the ocean, so feeling good energy to release whatever I'm gonna release today. I just wanted to
fart noise
to start off by saying that so this is the 4th of July week, and I've been getting information for 2 weeks now that this whole week, so through the Sunday after the 4th, so I guess now June 30th through Sunday, July 6th, the spraying, the chemtrail spraying, I got a warning that it's gonna be severe. Like, normally it's mild to moderate.
My brain told me a paranoid thought, and I decided to share it with all of you.
But I got a severe warning for the next 6 days due to the 4th. I guess we're still in these, you know, we're still in the times, guys, where we're not out of it yet. They are, excuse my language, they, right now with the chemtrails, they're just fucking shit up. Like, that's all I gotta say. They're just fucking shit up. Like, they don't give a, they don't care. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, they are just trying to, yeah. So I just wanted to say, just be extra cautious, do a lot of detoxing over the next 6 days. It's not looking pretty with the chemtrails.
Detoxing isn't a fucking thing. Sorry, that annoys me. That's an alt health claim that I hate. There's no such thing as a detox. You can't go on a detox. You can't take something to detox. That's not a thing. It's like a made-up thing. You can't detox.
Through Sunday, July 6th. Okay, so predictions July through December. So July, I see... So nothing significant to report for July. July is going to be the last calm month of 2025. Calm meaning nothing really transpiring just yet. This is the final month of the buildup. We're going to feel a significant energetic buildup.
Elk Owl says, I feel like there aren't many queer LGBT conspiracy theorists, at least not many we encounter on the show. Why do you think that would be? I don't know. I don't know the like, sexual, you know, proclivities of the people on the show. So, I can't really say if that's even necessarily true, because I don't know, you know, most of the people's sexualities, much less their fucking gender identities or how they relate to them, so I don't know. Fennikagami says, this inhuman brain rot is unironically the real disease destroying our society. Like, just to avoid being human, being genuine to try to stop what Zoran represents, the Democratic establishment is trying to set up a Project 2029 because they think the problem was that they weren't communicating their plan well enough.
We're gonna feel like something is about to happen this month of July, increasing week by week. So I'm not seeing any significant events happening really in July. I see a significant buildup of energy. I mean, we're going to feel it. The difference between July 1st and July 31st is going to be almost night and day. We're going to feel like something is about to happen.
Well, the important thing is you're priming your audience to believe that, so I'm sure you'll get some people that feel that way.
So I just wanted to mention that. August is when it begins to go down. So August is going to be a wild month. We have the HARP agenda with their hurricanes that will begin getting rolled out that month. August, September, October.
HARP weather control on the bingo card?
Are the 3 months of the HARP agenda this year. Where I already released a video. I think it was my HARP series part 1 video.
If they could control the weather, why they only do it in certain seasons? Don't you find that to be a little convenient? Almost like weather is sometimes, you know, seasonal.
The dates and all the storms that they have planned for the US this year that they're going to try and do. I saw between 5 and 8 happening between August and October. And I laid out the dates, so definitely check that video out. But yeah, so I'm seeing like a significant buildup. Well, the HARP agenda, August and October are going to be when they release the hurricane.
What's the HARP agenda? Basically, they think that the government is secretly controlling the weather in order to create worse and worse natural disasters, or what they believe to be man-made disasters that are meant to look like natural disasters in order to consolidate power and wipe out opposition. Again, it's a conspiracy theory. HARP isn't a real thing, or at least what they think HARP isn't a real thing. The government can't control the weather. But conspiracy theorists think they can, because conspiracy theorists look at any terrible thing that happens and have to ascribe to it someone who wanted that to happen. They are completely immune from the idea that bad things can just happen randomly or because of physics. It has to be someone wanted it to happen.
Which I did enough of the
And yes, ignoring climate change is also a big part of the HARP stuff.
Hurricanes. I'm gonna like get into other stuff in this video, but dates that I am warning you guys about, or you know, the energy on these days are just what might happen, potential false flags or uncalled for events. August 8th is Lionsgate portal. I unfortunately know for a fact they really want to try and fuck shit up on Lionsgate. They really want to do like a false flag. I don't know if it's gonna be like a storm false flag or a I don't know what type of false flag they want to do, but I am feeling a false flag around Lionsgate. So that date's gonna be Lionsgate is actually on a full moon this year, so it's going to be crazy energy.
I'm not sure what Lionsgate is. I'm assuming it's some sort of astrological astrology thing.
So I'm just warning you guys, we're still a month out from that. But Lionsgate this year is going to be really intense, and I notice every other year, so every 2 years with the Lionsgate is when typically there's like a false flag.
False flag on the bingo card.
So last year was fine, but 2 years ago on Lionsgate they did Maui, so it's typically every other year. So I don't know what, I haven't really gotten an exact event that they're going to do. I'm just saying like there might be a false flag. And then, so we're going to feel the energy of whatever that might be, like increasing in July as we get closer. And then
we've not had giants yet, no.
Another window for false flags to occur in September. I see there's a lunar eclipse on September 7th and then a solar eclipse on the 21st. I'm seeing, you know, that window, they really are going to try and, so I'm going to get into what I've been kind of feeling, but I just wanted to say possible false flag. I guess we're just starting with false flags, and then I'm going to get into like what's kind of going on maybe. Yeah, okay, so the false flags. And then So September 7th and the 21st. And I'm not reading this from everything, guys. This is all from
Harold Edelman says, we're looking for mom's ball gown from 65. Long story, tell you later. And we found 2/3 of the boxers it was stored in. And mom can't stop saying it was moved and removed, as in stolen by agents unknown for reasons unknown. Because I live in reality, I'm still looking, but conspiratorial mindsets are literally everywhere. Yeah. People have a tendency towards ascribing actions or events to an agency, not an agency like a government agency. I mean beings with agency, something that has wants and needs and directs action towards those ends, right? We don't like things that are just random or happen by accident or just happen because physics. We hate that shit. Humans hate unmotivated systems. We don't get them. Our brains are meant and very wired towards social situations and towards the intent of other beings, and we just don't like things that aren't that. Unfortunately, the majority of things aren't that. So, you end up with a lot of conspiracies.
from stored, so, and I didn't do any, I don't do, like, research when I remove view, like, it's all, I don't even, like, look at anything, like, this is just all that has come forward. So we have August 8th, September 7th, September 21st, and then, oh, and then October 6th is a supermoon, so that day as well. And then we have, so the window between August 8th and October 6th will be the most intense 2 months of 2025, especially with agendas and hurricanes and all that. So I just wanted to mention that.
Rick M says you should wear a dress to your orchiectomy. Ball gown? Ha ha ha.
In this video,
I need to get these fucking things off me.
today might approach about 20 minutes or something because I want to try and cover everything that I kind of found. So, okay, so, and then, oh, and then...
Unironically, though, I'm a fan of yoga pants, and it's gonna make yoga pants easier, so that's gonna be good.
After kind of October, I'm just giving the energetic sum ups, and then I'm going to say what events has come forward. After October, I see kind of like an eerie stillness happening in November.
Do I have an Orky date? I do. For those who missed the beginning of the stream, good news. I do have a date scheduled for my orchiectomy surgery. So that's good. Woot woot. I don't want to give you the specific date, but it's in like the next 2 months.
In December, after kind of like 3 months of almost just like global chaos that's going to be occurring, like August, September, October. So like I said, HARP will contribute to that. I'm also seeing that the shadow government.
Avila 2022 says from astrology.com, the Lionsgate portal is a relatively new energetic phenomenon born in recent years. It's a combination of astrology, ancient cosmology, and numerology, all channeling a very specific celestial alignment hitting climax on August 8th. So it's like a bullshit thing they made up recently. Considered a mystical day in astrology, Lionsgate is the coinciding of two strong cosmic energies, the star Sirius aligning close to the Earth as the sun exerts an unparalleled influence from its ruling sign of Leo. Known as the Lionsgate portal, it allows access to awareness beyond your usual perception and invites untold potential for manifestation. Fucking hate astrology, by the way. Have I mentioned that?
The deep state, the reptilians. I have been getting information that, so yeah, this video might get a little, I don't know, I'm just gonna share what's come forward, guys. Like, I don't really look at what's going on in the world. I'm not really like.
Imagine saying that shit and not being ashamed of yourself.
I'm really I disassociated myself in 2024 from all the world events. I don't really care, but I have.
You should probably care. It's okay to step away occasionally for your mental health, but to say you don't care is abdicating responsibility for your own life and the lives of everyone around you, so maybe don't do that.
Seen that the deep state or the shadow government in America and the shadow government in Israel, they are trying to work together right now to plan a false flag Israel and America around the same time.
Oh, yikes.
To like try and, I don't know why they're doing this. I guess there might be some sort of like fallout happening. I think that this is their last ditch effort to like keep people kind of like buying the old narratives about maybe like kind of like what's really going on, or like to like, I actually don't really know. I haven't looked too much into I haven't really looked into any of those issues, but
Then why are you talking about it? Then why are you talking about it? If you don't know about these issues, you should not talk about it. Because you sound really stupid, and you sound like a kid who has no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and you're ascribing conspiratorial intent without any evidence. I don't like the situation with Israel either, but to outright state that you just have vibes that there's going to be some sort of false flag attack is ridiculous. You cannot do this. You cannot just say shit for no reason. Insanity.
What came forward clearly was a false flag by the deep state and the U.S.
Deep state on the bingo card?
U.S. deep state and Israel deep state, because like each country kind of have their own deep state. They are more connected.
You get a deep state, and you get a deep state, and you get a deep state. Fun fact, Australia's deep state is mostly wallabies.
Than kind of the other deep states, if that makes sense. And this is like the government behind the government, like the reptilians, all that. So
Reptilians on the bingo card. Ooh, this guy's got a lot of beliefs, huh? Lennon Cat with 40 bits says a really important lesson people need to learn. You do not have to have an opinion on every topic. If you don't know enough, you can simply not have an opinion. I learned that in high school while reading one of Penn Jillette's books, and it has served me pretty well. I've said things that I probably shouldn't have before. I've stated less informed opinions, but by and large, I try to be able to say, I don't know, or I don't have an informed enough opinion on something if I don't. It's important.
I am seeing
it's always okay to say, I don't know. In fact, it's important.
That there might be a coordinated false flag on both Israel and the U.S. to try and like get into a war somewhere. So I don't
somewhere.
Like I said, guys, I don't really follow any.
He's so uninformed. He can't even like give a hypothetical like place. He can't like go to Iran or Palestine. He's so uninformed. He can't even give a location. Oh my god.
Thing. So that's just the information that's coming forward. I don't really know. So if something like that did end up happening...
Isn't it crazy that his psychic abilities are limited by his own personal knowledge? It's almost like he's not psychic at all, and he's just having thoughts and ascribing importance to those thoughts that isn't warranted.
Happening, then just know that I guess I picked up on it. So, yeah, just be aware. Oh, okay.
When was this posted? Yesterday. This was posted yesterday.
And then, another hit on the Middle East. So I did get a hit about possible releases of information about a lot of trafficking operations happening in the Middle East. I didn't get Israel in specific. I got the whole Middle East, and then also I got a hit on Ukraine. So I got information.
Earlier he said in the Middle East. He knows that Ukraine isn't in the Middle East, right? Please tell me that this guy knows that Ukraine isn't in the Middle East. Please tell me he knows Ukraine isn't in the Middle East. Also, kind of funny that the two countries he's aware of right now, internationally, are the ones that pop up here. Israel and Ukraine, seemingly the only foreign countries he knows outside of the U.S.
About, obviously what's really going on is those are hubs for the adrenochrome ring.
People don't know where Ukraine is in general. It's a fucking former Soviet bloc nation that got fucking Balkanized. It's in the Balkans. It's next to fucking Russia. Like you can process of elimination that. What the fuck?
Which adrenochrome
on the bingo card.
is it's really disturbing. So I don't know how much I want to get into right now, but I guess just a quick sum up of it is it's
Reptilian Dueler, thanks for 18 months, says, Woot, second sub baby. This sub baby's name is going to be Argyle Slitherpants. Argyle Slitherpants.
ongoing, and this is not that
It's not in the Balkans. See, this is why it's good to say less than it is more, because then you say stupid shit like I just did. There you go.
Online. This is I got how this operation is going from remote viewing, so I don't know, like, if you...
Lieth James, was that a bingo call? If so, post your bingo card in the live stream chat on Discord, and I'll take a look at it.
Look it up what it says, really. Like, I don't even think it says that. I don't know what it says, but really what's going on with adrenochrome, it's a soul harvesting, almost like
a hype, like, this happened the other day too. It feels like a hype train started for almost no reason. Interesting. 33% to level 1 in a hype train.
Blood.
If you want to help it, you can use bits or subscriptions.
And sex ritual operation. It's just...
Ooh, blood and sex ritual sounds fun. Let me check the live stream chat and see if that got posted yet. Not quite.
Disgusting.
Quasispec, thanks for 1,000 bits, getting us over level 1 of the hype train. Thank you very much.
It's like,
Ukraine borders the Balkans, but isn't a part of it? Well, you know what? I'll give myself partial credit. I think that's better than most Americans. Oh, 96% to level 1, actually. Almost over level 1.
Run by reptilians, like satanic worshipping reptilians. Guys, like, I don't know how much I'm gonna get into it today.
Yeah, this can be vibes-based conspiracy. This very much is.
Just trying to give the prediction video, but so adrenochrome.
Oh, called too soon? Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
Chrome has kind of like gone down, but I see that it's been like kind of like really... It's stuff is shifting with it happening like in America and other countries around the world, but I see that where the wars are is where it's going really hard right now. So
you don't even know where wars are happening. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub, and Dillis Filler, thanks for 5 tier 1 subs. Lots of subs today. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. 54% to level 3.
Oh, I
don't know if this is word salad yet.
See something possibly coming out. It wouldn't be adrenochrome, it would just be like something sex trafficking related. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to mention, that I would not be surprised if there was something with sex trafficking in the Middle East or Ukraine that comes forward by the end of the year. Okay, so
Lucas, thanks for 49 months, and Rick M with a 30 stream streak says, why do people believe people like this when most of what they say turns out to be wrong? Because within conspiracy communities, A, they have a tendency to block out stuff that they're wrong about, and conspiracy communities are full of people telling them they're right. So even when they get things wrong, they'll get fake news and other people in conspiracy communities telling them that things are being revealed that show them to be right. So it's not just that this information they get is all conspiracy stuff. It's all of the news, air quotes news, and like the information they get confirms to them the things they already believe. So they don't think they're wrong. You may have seen memes where like conspiracy theorists are like, conspiracy theorists 100, everyone else 0. Like they think they're not only right, but that they've been confirmed right time and time again, because they exist within echo chambers that reinforce the beliefs, including with false confirmation.
What else was I gonna say?
Yeah, extreme confirmation bias.
I'm not even reading what I just all, like, today's just, I'm sharing what I...
Steve with a Q with 200 bits says, my predictions for July through December 2025, none of the specific things this guy said will happen, but enough vaguely similar or unconfirmable things will happen that he and his followers will continue to believe his predictive abilities. Probably a fair prediction. Ash, thanks for 31 months, getting us over level 3, 10% to level 4 on the hype train.
I already remote viewed and have stored, because I actually find that it's more pure when I don't have to like look at something. even though it's kind of easier because it gives me more of an outline, but this is kind of like a live, like, I'm not remote viewing live or channeling live. I'm literally just like sharing what I already found, but I'm trying to think of the order and the way that I should do it, or what other hits came forward. Okay, so this was the political stuff. Okay, so I probably should have wrote this all.
Oh yeah, I saw that link that you sent Amber, the Murkowski fucking questioning. Fuck her. Holy shit.
All down. I know I probably should have, but I was kind of like, I just don't want to today. I'm like on the rocks. I was like, I don't want to read something on the rocks, or like where I plan to do the video today. But anyway, so political stuff. So once again, like, I don't really like follow all of that. I mean, I'm very aware of what's going on because I can.
Are you? You don't follow it, so how are you aware? Like, he thinks his intuitions are awareness. They're not equivalent.
Like, remote view and get that information through there. I don't watch the news because I don't have to, thankfully.
I don't watch the news because I don't have to. He's literally saying he doesn't have to watch the news because he thinks his psychic powers keep him informed. He literally thinks his misinformation is a superior replacement for information. Woo! I don't know what that noise was. Would have made me feel better.
Because I can just get the information if I want, and also it's just all like predictive programming anyway. So long story short, so I got a hit on RFK, and specifically the hit that I got with RFK is people are turning on him, or it's very behind the scenes right now, so I don't think the news would have picked up on it, but people are turning on him because he wants to release information that I guess people in the administration and the deep state kind of don't want him to release. There's still, I still see a tie to the deep state in this current administration, less than the last one, but...
Are you serious, dude? I'm not gonna say what I want to say.
Someone like RFK, who obviously is a starseed, and
I don't know what to do with that. What do I do with that information?
who is very, like, operating at such a high frequency.
Wow, he really doesn't watch the news, huh? Minute left on the hype train. To think that RFK Jr. is operating well in any capacity is something. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting another 10 tier 1 subs. I know you already gifted earlier. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Probably, you know, he's the biggest disruptor of all of them. And there are other starseeds and lightworkers in that administration, but
this kid's broken. I don't even know how you fix this kid. This sucks. Lennon Cat, thanks for gifting a sub.
RFK is the most potent one in that administration. With his soul mission and any of that. So anyway, people are kind of like...
Densetsu brings up a good point. Nah, man, it's the worm who's the star seed.
Slowly turning on him. And I did get a hit of information that leading... So he's gonna stay...
The earlier subs were gifted when you were at work, so those don't count. I don't know if that math adds up, but I'm not gonna question it.
But... he's not going to get as much done as he wanted. And obviously, he thought that he was going to be the president, but obviously, you know, Trump won. And
Amber says, can we go to the timeline wherein those 10,000 extra people voted for Hillary? Just watch. In that timeline, like 5,000 people died of COVID, and Republicans are still freaking out about it. Calling it. No one can ever test this because time travel isn't real, but that's my prediction. COVID would have been handled much better but Republicans would have freaked the fuck out of every single death, despite now not caring about the, like, million-plus dead Americans or whatever it is. Lenin Cat with 40 bits says, RFK isn't even the most potent Kennedy alive today!
The reason that Trump actually...
I think it's questionable if Kennedy is still alive, if what you can call what he's doing now living.
He was actually contracted to win from the start, so it couldn't have been RFK even if he wanted, because of what the deep state, the shadow government, the reptilians did in 2020 with hijacking the timeline. They hijacked the timeline to get that clone in.
Oh, clone on the bingo card. Cloning.
So, and they, like, rigged it. So, anyway, like, I don't even want to sound like Trump, like, oh, the election was rigged. But, like, hey, like, they rigged it to get a clone in to...
They didn't. What the fuck?
Push...
It's interesting that he's anti-Trump, but thinks Biden is a clone. This guy's got interesting beliefs. Huh. Bittergrin, thanks for 100 bits.
Whatever agendas they had left. So, because they manipulated the law of the universe, like, to get that clone in 2020, they, like, Trump was automatically contracted to win in 2024 because, like, that was karma that they did. Like, they couldn't, what they did was elite, like, against the universal law. So, automatically, they screwed their timeline, the deep state. Like, it was such a, they couldn't do something like that. So, anyway, so RFK thought he was gonna win in 2024. But really, unfortunately, the frequency wasn't high enough for him. And it really wasn't his time, even though...
It's good to finally know what an RFK Jr. voter is like, because I was really wondering, what's the personality of an RFK Jr. voter? We have an answer.
You know, someone... I'm not saying, like, I think all the politics stuff is an illusion, but I think he is the most New Earth one out of all of them, you know? With the most New Earth solutions. So even if, you know, he couldn't do anything, I guess, like, he was the most he's more disruptive than Trump. The hit that I got. So anyway, long story short, I see him and Trump maybe, like, towards the end of the year start to clash behind the scenes. And then heading into 2026, I see a lot of people. So in that administration, there's, like, false people that, like join to, like, get positions, like, saying they're all about the whatever change, blah, 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 but they're, like, really false. And I can, like...
That's so funny that that's the justification for whenever Trump, like, gets in a bitch fight with someone, like, and he's just, like, being a narcissistic asshole about it, and he throws someone out that he hired. All of a sudden, it's not that Trump's bad at hiring people. It's gotta be that they were secret deep state agents. It's not that Trump is a narcissist who can't work with other people. They were a deep state plant all along. How old is this guy? He's got to be under 25. This guy's got to be like 25, 24. That's a guess. I don't know.
If I see one of them, like, I would know which one it is because I could see through all that. So I'd say, like, a good 70 to 75% of that admin is, like, really false.
Thank you for that hype train, everyone.
Like, falsely on board with what's going on, like, change and all that, and really, like, RFK and a few others and is, like, the minority, and I guess Trump is just playing both sides, which he has to do what he has to do, I guess, or whatever soul mission is.
Yeah, I did see the Trump-Musk fight again. I could not care any less. Call me if Elon gets deported.
But I don't really know what the fuck is going on, guys. I'm just sharing what I was able to, like, figure out, I guess. I don't know. So, what else was I gonna say? Okay, yes, and then, so I see RFK, this is getting into 2026, but I do see a timeline after the mid-elections here, or, like, the midterms. I see him resigning from the administration because his frequency is gonna be way too high to, like, be in a lower vibrational administration, because, like, they're not of a New Earth consciousness. I think he's probably, like, the only one. Actually, like, a couple other ones are, like, real, like, fully awakened starseeds, I think, like, in that administration. Like, the rest are kind of just, like, old Earth. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, like, judgmental, but, like, There is a lot of old earthness in that administration.
Does he not understand that his entire worldview is incredibly judgmental? Does he not get that?
So he's gonna be like, guys, I gotta go. So I saw him, and this is getting into 2026 now, oops, but whatever. Late 2026, early 2027, I see RFK resigning and declaring a run for president again. So
that'd be fucking hilarious.
That's not surprising at all, because
how old is RFK Jr.? Let me look this up.
That's his timeline. 2028 is his timeline. Because of that year, the frequency will be supportive of enough for somebody like him to run if they're, for the president. There's no way that
he's 71 years old.
Somebody.
Can we stop? Can we stop?
Of a low level of consciousness would be.
I'm begging for someone not in diapers. I'm begging for someone who wasn't alive during segregation. I'm begging.
Able to get in, as the systems will all be mostly crashed by then, and just, I don't know. So I see him declaring, I do, in the future timeline, I do see him getting in 2028, and I see as of 2025, he's already aware of his plan. Like, he knows he's only going to be there a couple years and then run for a couple years and get as much done as he's able to, because they're not letting him do a lot that he wants to do. And he's also under, like, a lot of watch. So he's kind of just, like, buying time for when, like, he's able to really do what he has to do. And I think he's aware that it would be another couple years, if he ended up getting in 2028, that's when really he would be able to do what he needs to do. But I see him doing a little bit, maybe, that he'll be able to get enough support on. And also, I think the frequency is going to be high enough where people are all going to come together and back him. So I don't know, that's getting such down the line. But so that's what I want to say. I did get that information on RFK. And yeah, so there's definitely a lot of internal conflict going on with him. He's so vibrationally unaligned with everyone there. But he's doing what he has to do, because, like I said, he's already aware of his plans for 2028. And I believe that the information I got was he's already made that internal decision. So that, we'll see what happens. So I guess that's really it for predictions. Yeah, I see, 2020, the rest of 2025 isn't going to really be like when like a lot of disclosure comes out. Like, it's 2025 is not the year for, like, extraterrestrial disclosure. It's not going to be the year. It's just going to be the deep state's final agendas, with some information coming out maybe on, like, trafficking, but nothing even adrenochrome related. So yeah, guys, it's kind of boring. I mean, it's interesting watching this, but really, it's not going to be releases of information, especially when it comes to HARP and, like, other stuff with the vaccines and all that stuff, and deeper agendas won't be until 2026, and a lot will be in 2027. I
wonder how this guy's going to be in, like, 10 years. Wonder how he'll be feeling. Fenakagami says, RFK Jr. is the most potent star seed, which means he agrees with me and makes me feel most good. Seriously, these people are cutting medical care. They are blocking cancer research. Make America Healthy Again is a scam. God, I hate this gaslighting shit, almost as much as I hate pick-me bullshit where people think policing our frustrations is a strategy.
Feeling 2027 is going to be the year, like, we are going to see a reptilian, like, shapeshift on live TV nationwide or worldwide, and then that'll lead us right into 2028. I think 2027 is the year for one to shapeshift, because, like, that I actually got that year a year ago. In 2024, I was like, 2027 is going to be when one shapeshifts in front of everyone. And then 2028, we know it's going to be the biggest timeline shift ever to this planet's happening that year. So it's just all building up to that, And ultimately, that's all I got. That's all I really have for today. I'll figure out what content I want to post next. Today was just another chill video. I just wanted to share kind of what was coming forward for the last 6 months of 2025. Oh yeah, so like I said, July, let me just quickly sum everything up. So once again, July is going to be kind of like the calm before the storm. August, September, October is going to be with the hurricanes and the false flags, like possibly multiple false flag like events to try and start a war with you know, the country, with the deep states of, you know, this country and other countries kind of teaming up. Kind of just like their last, whatever they have left, like they're gonna do it in 2025 because they still have a little bit of, you know, they still have a little power. I'm not gonna lie, like they're not fully done yet, but they're like 90% there. And 2026 and 2027 is gonna be when it goes done. Like, so really, but 2025 is the last year I could see them pushing like maybe one final agenda. So I wonder, that probably will, it's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, guys. Whether it's a cyber attack or some false flag, this is the year for that, because they can't do that in 2026 or 2027, because they're going to be like over the next 6 months with like after the eclipse portal that we're going to have and all that, like their power is going to be, I'm even seeing like a huge collective shift going into November and December after those 3 months. So by 2026 and 2027, their days are practically over, and then 2028 is their official declaration of extinction, the deep state and the shadow government and all that.
How do you even get this confident of your own bullshit? I don't understand. I don't understand how you get confident about things that are reasonable, much less this. I don't get it.
And that's really when things will be rapidly taking off afterwards, because don't forget, guys, like we are in the most intense like the next couple years are going to be the most intense with the systems collapsing. Once we get into the new timeline that's coming in 2028, things are going to get so much smoother, but shit is just going to be hitting the fan over the next 2.5 years, and that's really all that I have to report. And I, you know, hope, you know, obviously with the information I shared today, take what you want, leave what you don't want. If you don't agree with anything, please don't agree with it. If you agree with it, cool. But ultimately, this is just what came forward for me, and I did it all without my paper today, so I'm kind of proud of myself. And this was a pretty long video, almost 25 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap this up now.
Said words.
And I am you know, figuring out how I want to proceed still with what content. I'm gonna like probably just like always just like go into meditation and figure out what I need to share. But I know like I'll probably share a lot more when things start picking up, probably collectively. But as always, like this video and share it, and follow my Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube, because that's where I am right now. And that's all I have for today. So with that, I hope you guys once again liked it. Use your discernment as always, because discernment is key. Discernment's power.
All right, my discernment says you're full of shit and need therapy.
May have leave some stuff out, but can't be perfect when it comes down to these videos. But once again, that's all I have for today. Stay well, everyone. I'll see you soon.
Well, that's something. Nothing true, but it is something. Oh, you want to hear some poetry? Some conspiracy theorist poetry? I'm pretty sure the imagery for this is AI, but the guy actually wrote this. This is, the Tartaria guy from earlier.
Lived in the world, suppressing myself to I lived in the world, suppressing myself to fit in. Fluoride smile on my face like the Cheshire Cat grin. Sipping the Kool-Aid, never questioning within. Asking questions in this world was like living in sin. Following the mainstream like everyone else. But eventually, I had to stay true to myself. It hurt to break free from the mold they impose. Do what they tell you, but I did what I chose. Then I woke up one day, the fog started to clear. The silence before the storm, now replaced by their fears. Started seeing all the lies hidden just under the surface. Like a vision quest, I discovered my life's true purpose. So I opened my mouth and the truth came out. A wildfire of honesty, leaving no room for doubt. And then I started showing people what I'm talking about. I shred false narratives, the phony rhetorics they spout. Like cobwebs of deceit, I'm sweeping them out. Not for fortune or fame, nor for recognition or clout, to stop the lies they spew.
We live in a society-ass shit. Yeah. We feed people, and in fairness, I've talked about this before, how narratives shape people's worldview, and how we often kind of search for already existing archetypes to fit ourselves into, to understand ourselves better. And I think a lot of the narratives we sell people are of chosen ones, or chosen groups of people who exist within a fallen society, who rise up and change people's minds. Something like the movie The Matrix, for instance, right? With Neo and the One, but also the rest of the people. In, what's the city called in, Matrix? Zion, I think? Anyway, I think a lot of people internalize these narratives of, like, these groups of chosen people who secretly know something no one else does and leads to change and freedom for people. They find themselves in late-stage capitalism. They don't necessarily know that. They don't, like, conceptualize it that way. But they recognize that something is wrong. They recognize that people aren't happy, people are working constantly, they still can't afford food, they can't afford to raise their kids, they can't afford their homes. So they recognize that something is wrong, so their brain goes to these narratives that we fed everyone through media, and this isn't a nefarious thing. This is just like we tell stories, and we look for patterns in the world, and we relate them to stories that we're familiar with. So they sort of construct this worldview in which they're in almost this movie situation where something's wrong. It must be a hidden secret cabal, because that's what it is in movies. So I think a lot of the time people fall into that sort of worldview, where they think they're the secret chosen one, and other people who disagree with them are just the sheep, the muggles, the normies, the NPCs, you know, who don't understand. And I think that's how a lot of people end up here, is they perceive the world as flawed, and instead of understanding the nuance of those flaws, they cast it into this really weird black and white morality tale where they're cast as the hero.
Ones you and I were forced to swallow and chew just to survive. I saw an open portal and I escaped right through. Mr. 76, born out of the flame, standing proud of my path even when they call me insane. Let them build their cages, whisper my name in vain, reaching deep inside to push through the rain of chronic pain I always feel in my brain. My neck throbbing deep, overwhelming nerve damage, damning disparages horses and carriages. Building.
Is he into... Oh yeah, he's into Tartaria, duh. Dr. Worm with 47 months says, 47 months, don't like that number very much, but glad to be here.
Towers and spires stood together forever like happy marriages, till they sever the tether. I talk to the voices in my mind, one at a time, a symphony of struggles soon to align. You'll all get the chance to
How many voices are in your head, sir? That's not typical.
appear in my rhyme. Throughout my life, people treated me like I've been wrong all the time. Gaslit with no care of how that played with my mind. It's tortured in my head, having all my thoughts declined. What do they want from me? I simply don't know. My thoughts and emotions always clearly on show. I'm not the one who represses my feelings. Like the rest with their lies, cover stories, dodgy dealings, spraying toxins on our heads, say they're dimming our sun. Still people deny it's even happening. Forget it, I'm done. I'm fed up, so my middle finger extends.
An extra arm.
Deny it's even happening. Forget it, I'm done.
That's 3 arms. He looked at that and was like, yep, that looks good. Okay.
I'm fed up, so my middle finger extends. I refuse to comply, beg, borrow, or bend. Defiance, fuck compliance. It's not really a choice. I decided instead to show the world my voice. Distractions and fractions. Carrier pigeons on missions. Everywhere, everyone, pushing sheep-like submission. Nah, instead, here's some
Sheeple on the bingo card.
truths that I cooked in the kitchen. I wasn't born awake, but now I'll never sleep the same. Got people in my comments always calling my name. They trained us to sleep, to obey and submit, but I cracked through the code. They can't silence my wit. I walk through it, but I cracked through the code. They can't silence my wit.
That looks like a quality muzzle. If that wasn't an AI picture, that looks like a quality leather muzzle.
I walk through illusions like walls made of mist. What they call conspiracy is a clenched righteous fist. I see through the symbols, the layers, the schemes, decode their agendas, dismantle their dreams. They feed us their history, twisted and fake, but I tore through the veil, now I'm fully awake. They want clones in the system, doped up and tamed, but I broke from the matrix, I spit on their game. I speak for the silenced, the seekers, the brave, the ones they can't program, the ones they can't save. I wear no disguise, I stand in the light. While they shrink from the truth, I prepare for the fight. My words are resistance, my voice is a flame. So carve it in stone, they won't break my name. Mr. 76, etched into time, unapologetic, eternal, sublime. I wasn't born awake, but now I never sleep. And I'll keep telling truth till I'm buried 6 deep. Mr. 76, motherfucker.
Oh, well, classy ending.
No,
diverted.
I can be funny. A little bit of sperm on my nipples and here we go.
That's what puts it over the top. You know?
You gotta use your own though.
You know, I'm sure, the feds, they have a hard time trying to find Diddy in some of those tapes because the nipples were just like reflecting in the camera.
Don't worry about the beginning of this, or we're ignoring it. We're getting into this. He's going to talk about flat Earth and dinosaurs.
Stuck to the CDs.
It was almost blinding, you know what I'm saying? So much.
This guy is a former professional basketball player. For some reason, former professional basketball players have a propensity towards conspiracy theory. I don't know if it's just because a lot of them are wealthy and have a lot of yes men around them, and they just get in a situation where they fall down rabbit holes that no one wants to correct them on. I don't know why.
There's glistening going on.
We'll look at the bingo card after this video.
Jamar, who's now a guest on Vlad TV, again, he went through some controversy recently because he got into it with his professor about flat Earth. And I interviewed Jamar again. I asked him if the Earth is flat, and he said, absolutely. So I was like, well, how do you explain you're in New York, it's 8 o'clock, it's dark, you FaceTime your friend in LA, and it's daylight. He goes, oh, well, because it's not just flat, it's round, but it's flat. It's like it's a circle. And the sun, he says, circles around this flat Earth.
The sun, okay.
Yeah,
So
there's the flat Earth.
This is the flat Earth. This is a dome. Okay? Let's just go, there's a dome.
There's a dome now. Okay, there's a new aspect of the flat Earth. Let's go.
There's a dome, right? Okay. And the Earth is literally, as it's rotating, the sun is in a triple eight. I mean, it was within the figure of infinity of the eight. And it's moving.
I haven't heard people who are flat earthers say the sun goes in a figure 8. I've heard them say it goes in 2 separate circumferences of circling the circumference depending on the time of the year. I've not heard the figure 8 thing.
Of course, last night I could FaceTime a friend of mine in Atlanta. It was dark in Atlanta and it was dark in LA.
Yeah.
Can I introduce you to axial tilt, sir?
Oh, in the middle of the night, it's going to be dark everywhere.
Okay. So
not everywhere, but many places.
Everything is just, as the sun is moving within this dome. Now, the only reason, and I remember saying this to somebody, I said, you got to watch the beginning of the movie Gravity.
You don't understand the 2 circumferences thing? Basically, they think that during certain times of year, the circle that the sun makes is smaller, and they think during other times of the year, they think it's bigger.
The moon is 283,000 miles, right? From here. And no, it's 280,000 degrees below zero. Like, it is so cold in space, there's almost no way for us to exist in space. And it's so cold that you can't do the things that they are acting like they were able to do. So when they showed the satellite,
Space is 2.7 Kelvin, which is minus 455 degrees.
minus 450, what?
Or 270 degrees, minus 270 degrees Celsius. Really cold.
What spaceship is going to withstand that cold? What outfit is going to...
Wait, what about the cold do you think is going to destroy the spaceship? It's in space. It's in a vacuum. It's not like there's a bunch of, like, stuff around it to freeze it. Like, it's not in an atmosphere that's going to have a bunch of ice crystals form necessarily. It's in space. It's in a vacuum. What?
withstand that cold? None.
Well,
So when they showed him outside the space station
I don't think he understands a lot of things.
going around and doing...
well, see, there's this thing in cars, right, called a heater. And when you press it, you can set the temperature, and then hot air comes out and makes everything warm. I'm pretty sure they figured out one of these for us.
Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, Green Guy had me put a cleanse in the live stream Discord. Let me see what it is. Oh. Can I open this? Let me see. I cannot open it for you guys to see, actually. I think it's cute. It's a little bird doing a dance, but I can't show it on stream because I can't make that go on here. Does that make sense? I don't think. Yeah. I can't open that in the browser.
Spaceship.
Can't.
Really?
I did watch it, though.
Think about it.
Okay.
It's that cold. So this little small spaceship on the inside. Okay, let me just say this.
It's a heater.
Okay, I'm going to say this.
You could be in a cold room, you turn on a heater, it gets warm.
Do you think they use gas for their planes, for their spaceships?
They use
What do you mean, do they use gas? Can you be more specific? What are you talking about?
fuel, rocket fuel.
How?
It's liquid. It's liquid rocket fuel. What do you mean, how? Like, do you want to talk to an actual engineer? They might be able to explain it to you, but are you going to believe them? Like, why do you care? You already have decided that this shit isn't true, so I don't understand what you care about. I believe they do use liquid oxygen, but it's because you need oxygen to combust, so, like, that's just there to help the combustion happen. That's not the fuel itself.
What do you mean, how?
They use it to get outside of the atmosphere.
Yes.
Then what?
Then there's more fuel.
Where?
Well, once you get out of the atmosphere, you don't need a ton of fuel because there's no atmosphere in space, so things just move on their own.
So the
If you're in
international...
space and you take a ball and you throw it, it'll just keep going
Forever.
because there's no atmosphere to throw it to slow it down.
So they don't need any fuel.
Well, the fuel.
No, they need... Why does he think that they go through all the fuel on the takeoff? They go through most of the fuel on the takeoff, but not all of it.
Will speed it up, but you don't need as much fuel in space as you do when there's air and you're actually hitting air molecules and trying to get them out the way as you're, trying to get through them.
They go to the International Space Center. I'm still going to call it that. Okay? International Space Center. And it's
Okay, you can sound like a dipshit if you want.
floating in the orbit that goes around the Earth.
Correct.
They can't go any further than that
What?
into space.
We've been to the moon multiple times. We've been to the moon like 4 or 5 times.
They have.
They can't go any further
So they just hit a
than
wall. There's the atmosphere. There's a dome. You just hit the dome, and that's that.
that. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
You can't go outside of
What
the
happens when you go over the edge?
edge of what?
The Earth. Because if it's flat, then there's an edge.
Right. But there's an edge to our part. It's still flattened. Like there's no edge to it.
You just said you think there's a dome.
I know it sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy.
Okay. But within our dome,
Interviewer's kind of funny.
within our space, are these outer lines. And then there's more outer lines.
Okay. Now, you do know that, like, some flat earthers went to Antarctica to prove the Earth was flat, and they realized once they got there that the sun didn't go down. And they have all basically said, okay, our mistake. It actually is round.
Right. because on the top, what they should have done is calculated the sun goes like this.
Ah, yes, the figure eight. We're
Right.
back on the figure.
Okay, except it doesn't do that. Like, observably, it doesn't do that. So...
Great thing. Listen, man,
I love-
if you want to believe the Earth is flat, I'm not going to convince you otherwise.
I just don't believe it's.
You know, and I asked Jamar this, you know, the question of, okay, so explain to me how billions of people are being fooled by who exactly? So all these photos, all these videos, all these scientists, all these books, like who is running this ruse to try to fool you into thinking that it's actually spherical? Like who is running this? And to him, he's a 5%. He's like, oh, you know, obviously 10%. The 10% who know better, they're trying to fool everyone. The 5%, like me, know better. And the 85%
Duff,
are all
double
sheep.
blind.
Listen, that's his thing. He got a lot of heat over this.
Marcel Paul with the 3-stream streak says, did they say my mistake, the Earth is round?
Recently, because he actually sat down with a real serious scientist who started to pick apart his theory. I believe the Earth is the Earth. If you want to believe it's flat, it is what it is. But you're not going to convince me that it's flat.
So you believe?
I don't care how many figure eights you draw.
You
how many
believe the Earth is
domes.
spinning so fast that you believe it's spinning so fast that if it was to slow down by at least 5 seconds, we would all fall to dust.
What? I mean, if there was a very sudden change in momentum, yes, it would be disastrous. Luckily, orbital mechanics don't really allow for that. So I don't think we're going to have some air brakes kick in suddenly and stop the thing. I don't know what he means by slow down for 5 seconds specifically. I understand the general idea. He's saying if the momentum changed, it would be disastrous, because there's like a specific video about that a famous YouTuber did. I think he's referencing that.
Because that's what they're trying to tell you, that this spinning ball is going around the sun.
Well, when you're already on something that's moving, you don't feel it moving. When you're in your car, you don't feel like you're going, like you're moving. You're in the car and it's moving. When you're on a plane, do you realize how fast you're going? Now, if you jump out the plane, then you'll realize it. But if you're in the plane, you feel like you're not going anywhere. You're just in a plane that's moving towards a direction, but
yeah, you feel acceleration. You don't feel motion.
Doesn't feel like it's super fast. You're not being thrown, like, you jump in my Tesla Model S. No, sorry, my Tesla Model X Plaid. Sorry, my Model X Plaid, which is the fastest car in America. Have I ever taken it around the block?
And I refuse.
You refuse, right? Because when I hit the brake, when I hit the gas, it's like a roller coaster. Your head gets thrown back. But if you're just driving on a regular speed, you're not getting thrown back. It doesn't feel like there's anything. Like if you're on a plane, order a drink. You put the drink down, it doesn't get flown back. It just sits there. And that's what's happening on the Earth. It's moving, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it's moving because you're part of that moving mechanism. I'm not explaining it all that well because I'm not a scientist, but that's essentially how it works. You're not buying it, huh?
No.
Explain it then. Then explain it.
What do your daughters feel about your whole flat Earth?
They think I'm crazy. My daughters think I'm crazy anyway. I just don't agree with the globe thing. It just makes more common sense to me.
Oh, the phrase common sense. My arch nemesis. AKA a thing dipshits say when they can't justify the thing they believe.
That we're on a flat plane. It just makes more common sense under a dome. And it was.
Hey man, if there's a question on basketball, I'll defer to you. If there's a question on the shape of the Earth, let's all of us defer to, scientists who study the Earth. I think that sounds fair.
It was funny. I've always thought it. And then when it became a thing where this internet and we were able to have these conversations, I would say, that's so tripped out that every time they show the Earth, it's flat. And they go, well, it's in a book. And they have to spread it out to show you how it is.
I'm sorry, is he confused by maps? He thinks because maps are flat or appear flat, he believes that the Earth is flat? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, listen.
I don't know if you know this, it's easier to roll up a map than it is to carry a globe around with you.
There are theories out there that Sweden is not a real place. It's actually just like a fake country that they created out of thin air, but doesn't actually exist. There's lots, some people believe that Bigfoot is real. Like there's all types of.
Hey, you didn't believe there were giants.
I still don't. I mean,
Do
far
you,
from
do you
you,
believe there are dinosaurs?
Yes.
So you believe that there were dinosaurs, but you don't believe there were giants.
Yes, that is the thing that is based in evidence, sir. Correct.
Well, there's actually skeletons of dinosaurs. There's no
And both.
skeletons of.
No,
I mean,
these
really. I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of think that Shaq is a giant.
He is. Y'all.
He's not, he doesn't have gigantism. He's a person on the very far end of the bell curve for human height and size. That doesn't mean there were giants just because there are very tall people or even people with gigantism. Giants are mythological creatures.
I mean,
Yao Ming, who makes Shaq look short, is an even bigger giant.
Right. But let me
Do I
tell you.
believe in
That is giants on the bingo card. Unstable deadbeat. Can I see your bingo card? Oh, yeah. Can I see your bingo card, unstable deadbeat?
those guys? Absolutely. I mean, I've met Shaq before.
So you believe it. But this is what I'm trying to tell you.
He's a real person. I can tell you Shaq is a real person.
I just don't understand.
He's not AI.
I just don't understand this. And this will probably get me in trouble. Why in museums they have bones of dinosaurs, but not one burial site of Moses, Jesus, the pharaohs, none of those people.
Are you serious? First of all, we do have stuff of a lot of pharaohs. Egyptology is a whole ass study. Second of all, Jesus and Moses are specific alleged historical figures. Finding a dinosaur is not the same as finding a specific dinosaur? What the fuck is this idiot talking about? This guy might be a good basketball player, but he's genuinely a grade A dipshit. Holy fuck. Let's look at Unstable Deadbeat's card real quick. Ancient Wisdom, False Flag, Giants, Tartaria, and Chemtrails. Indeedly do, Unstable Deadbeat. That is our official bingo winner for today. I will write down your name, Unstable Deadbeat. Give me a sec to write that down. Gift it randomly. Easy peasy. Fennec Kagami says, giants are also specifically not human. Like most myths put giants in the same category as gods or fae. Correct. Bittergrin says the British Museum has rooms full of stolen pharaoh corpses.
But they have...
I mean, Jesus is allegedly buried in...
allegedly.
In Jerusalem. I mean...
There's no what you...
Well, listen.
My deal is this. I went and I paid attention and I looked at these dinosaurs and I just don't believe it.
I'm just imagining this fucking tall-ass basketball player at a museum very intently staring at a dinosaur for like an hour and then just going, I don't buy it! Oh.
So they're all fake.
Mm-hmm.
So someone basically just put together these fake bones and smushed them together and said,
Made
oh,
them
look,
big.
they're dinosaurs.
Made them big.
Made them big. You know how we just can make bones big? You know that bone embiggening technology we're always hearing about?
Do you believe in dragons?
Do you believe in dragons?
Komodo dragons.
No, I'm talking Game of Thrones dragon.
No.
They breathe
Okay.
fire and you can ride on them. No.
Okay, those are.
But there were like pterodactyls, flying lizards. I mean, but lizards and birds are very similar, just period. In fact, they're realizing now that a bunch of the dinosaurs actually had feathers.
Right.
They didn't realize that before.
Well, they had
lizards
talent.
and birds are relatively similar. You take a bird and you take all its hair off and you look at a lizard side by side, they're not that dissimilar. They're somewhat related to each other. But yeah, I believe in dinosaurs. I don't believe in dragons.
Oh my
Hydrate.
God, we got to have a list.
We got to have a list.
We got to have a list. I got a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. John Sally, it's been too long. Hopefully
Yes.
it won't be this long again, but
Yeah.
me and you have been rocking together ever since. We've always stayed in contact. You know,
Every
I've
3
always-
months, you should have me on.
Every 3 months, I'm going to have you on.
That's what I'm saying.
What, you still believe in calendars, you fool? You trust the government to keep the time for you? I see Big Calendar got to him. Let's take a look at the bingo card. We had an official winner, but we'll still take a look. We had clones. We had, of course, Flat Earth. Uses AI. Vibes-based conspiracy. Sheeple. Doesn't understand their problem is capitalism. Has the poetry guy more poetry? I don't think so. Why? Do you want more? Are you sure? Psyop. I know we have false flag on here somewhere. Illuminati, Freemason, Cabal. We had, weather control. Giants. Let's see. Reptilians. False flag. Adrenochrome. Is that it? Might be it.
The topic of twin flames has become a somewhat controversial subject in the field of spirituality. The main issue being that twin flames has become an industry that can teeter on the verge of toxic. Even the concept itself can be used to justify highly toxic behavior and leave a person tiptoeing around their own psychosis. And yet, there is undeniably a large percentage of the spiritual community going through intense and profound experiences that they can only classify.
I kind of hate that image of the person being pulled through that, like, grid going into the colors. It kind of goes hard. Feels like a pride image, almost.
Classify as being a twin flame connection. It is by far the most asked question I receive in my Instagram stories, and clearly a topic that many need guidance navigating. So with the intent of helping to better understand this topic, I'll be going over the real purpose of a twin flame connection, as well as the difference between a twin flame, a soulmate, and a karmic partner. We can begin with what a twin flame is. A twin flame is someone who shares the identical soul core frequency as you. This core frequency comes from
Okay, so like a completely made up thing.
the oversoul, which is the expression of a person's energy field that is directly above the higher self. In fact, much of the guidance we receive in this lifetime comes from the level of the oversoul. So the oversoul divides itself into multiple pairs of souls, which form a soul cluster, or what one would call their soul family.
This is starting to sound like the plot of Sense8. Has anyone seen Sense8?
It does this so that it can immerse itself into a wealth of perspectives and a diversity of experiences. So these pairs of souls all share the same oversoul and have very similar energetic signatures. But twin flames
Is this not just oversoul incest?
have the same exact energetic signature within the soul cluster of that oversoul. And that's your history lesson for today. However,
That was a history lesson?
the common way this concept gets portrayed is that twin flames are two halves that are meant to make up a whole, like cosmic puzzle pieces completing an image that is implicitly unfinished. This can lead one to believe there is something innately incomplete within themselves that can only be rectified through the other. Even if this isn't exactly the sentiment, this is what can draw a person to the twin flame paradigm, the prospect of union with the other half of their soul. But the true purpose
Oh yeah, y'all should definitely watch Sense8. I know y'all would love it too. Watch Sense8 is good.
of twin flames or divine counter
It's on Netflix. Fuck Netflix, so maybe find other ways to view it. Legal ways, but find ways to view it.
part relationships does not come from a place of deficiency at all. It comes from a place of surplus. An oversoul so vast, so rich in its development, a totality so whole and complete in and of itself, that it only divides itself in order to be more of service to its own essence and to the universe at large. So for those who resonate with the twin flame paradigm, the purpose of that connection is ascension-based and twofold: to help raise the collective consciousness of the planet through one's unique service to humanity, and to break lifetimes of one karmic cycle in their personal healing journey. Because a twin flame is someone who shares the
Past life reincarnations on the bingo card.
identical soul core frequency as you, the depth of recognition, emotion, and acceleration of spiritual growth that is experienced in a twin flame relationship can be overwhelming and profound.
I should say, if anyone doesn't know either, Sense8 was done by the Wachowskis, the same people who did The Matrix, and Sense8's good and has like really good inclusiveness, like not token like trans or gay characters, but like the show is very much about these characters. I'd recommend it. Check it out.
As you are meeting the essence of your own godhood.
I will say between season 1 and 2, one actor gets replaced because he turns out to be shitty about some of the other people on the show, because some of the other people on the show are gay and trans and stuff, and he was shitty about that, so he does get replaced in season 2, but it's fine. No, that's not the show with Elliot Page. That's Umbrella Academy.
Reflection of the other. However, this is for the very same reason why the connection is often tumultuous in nature, at least at first, because the other is serving as the deepest form of mirror to the core of your being.
Yeah, they did this. I like Speed Racer. I like that Speed Racer movie. I know that's not as hot of a take as it used to be. I think it's been reappraised a bit for its like really out there visual style, but I like Speed Racer.
The mirroring is so intense it can lead to cycles of attracting and repelling one another as the energies are thrown into confusion. This brings up all of the insecurities, traumas, and unresolved wounds of the past to the surface, which makes this kind of a relationship highly volatile, because you're not just dealing with two people and their typical emotional baggage. You're dealing with your projections of abandonment from the light, the fall.
Kinda just sounds like you're looking for justifications to be in a toxic relationship, but you know, whatever, do you?
Of Atlantis and cyclical cataclysm in the draconian third-dimensional timelines.
Oh, gotta watch out for those draconian third-dimensional timelines. I'm more of a fan of the Nordic fifth dimension Parcheesi parties.
This unique feature of penetrating a person's self-concept deep into the core of their being, there is a lot of triggering that goes on in a twin flame connection, as you can imagine.
This is also what it looks like when two ghost riders fall in love.
The triggers are enormous for these aspects of the self to be brought to the surface in the first place, as each are healing the denied, forgotten, and abandoned parts of the self through the mirror of what the other is bringing up in them.
Do you think if two ghost riders get in a bed together, it flames out like their motorcycles?
In addition to mirroring, synchronicities are one of the main ways you can tell if you're experiencing a twin flame connection. In fact, the synchronicities can seem to be endless because, once again, you're dealing with your own core frequency in another person. So the alignment of inner and outer events are going to be amplified. From the very first encounter with the twin flame, synchronicity plays a strong role to both orchestrate and activate a spiritual awakening within oneself. In fact, the twin flame journey can be summed up as one giant spiritual awakening after another as this connection is designed to
A
catalyze.
reminder that Cataspinda, the sovereign citizen, is in a twin flame relationship with her partner who's much younger than her. just putting it out there. Overthought with 100 bits says, as further evidence of our collective brain rot, she is intentionally talking like an AI voice because that's what people watch now. That might also just be how she talks, because this is from 3 years ago. That's how she presents.
Each person to the next level in their ascension process. Another prominent feature of a twin flame connection is the amount of telepathy that takes place. This type of connection
Oh, of course, you know, that casual telepathy you have.
has a large telepathic component to it that can often cause the connection to feel omnipresent. And it's not reserved to just thoughts or the mental body. One's emotions can also be felt. So there is a psychic element in this kind of relationship that enhances one's intuitive abilities. The individual's entire electromagnetic field goes through an activation as an ancient recognition is awakened in one another. Likewise, due to the universal law that like attracts like, the twin flame attraction is
Like attracts like? What about magnets? Magnets attract opposite poles.
highly magnetic.
Did I get this telepathic message I sent you? Or that you sent me, rather? Something about bananas and a goat? I'm not sure it came through clear.
This bond is not just felt
Yeah, this can count as word salad. This is word salad.
in
That's
any
fine.
one center of the body. Although the heart center does experience exceptionally powerful sensations, the magnetic attraction takes place through all 7 energy centers in the body, creating a strong pull that can only be described as intense.
It was a sheep, goat was close. Okay, that's good. Could have been plantains, too.
The major difference between a twin flame, a soulmate, and a karmic
But magnets only attract magnetic things? Untrue! They attract ferrous things as well. Checkmate, Elbowman.
relationship is there is a romantic attraction in a twin flame relationship, whereas soulmates and karmic partners can either be romantic or platonic. Twin flames reflect each other's discord, whatever is held in the person's energy field that is out of alignment with their true self, before they can reflect one another's harmony. And soulmates typically reflect a person's harmony. Anyone you feel a deep bond with where you both are just on the same wavelength is a soulmate. Some soulmates play bigger roles in a person's life than others, but each one is meant to assist our evolution and share a special form of love with. They can be family, friends, or even a romantic partner, but they can also be complete strangers. These are the bonds in our life that give us emotional...
I'm gonna be honest, at the point where that we're describing strangers as soulmates, maybe you've diluted the term to the point where it doesn't really mean anything.
fulfillment, and a sense of belonging. Soulmate relationships still include conflict and challenges, but these are not ill-willed in nature. The difference between a twin flame relationship and a karmic relationship is a karmic relationship will lead a person further away from their life purpose. In fact, they are repelled by a person's expansion and therefore seek to unconsciously hinder one's spiritual growth. Whereas a twin flame will catalyze a person's expansion toward their soul's purpose and towards spiritual growth. The whole goal of a twin flame relationship is to catalyze one another into embodying our higher self. But addiction, abuse, and power games are common themes in karmic relationships.
Benigagami says, ma'am, I get it. You struggle to connect and read people. You have social anxiety, and you've someone you can connect to. Congrats, you've had the experience of the average neurodivergent person. It's not magic soulmate stuff. It's just you never learned social interaction. Fucking oof.
So you can pretty much expect any form of toxicity from a karmic bond, as these kinds of connections bring out the worst in both parties and are meant to be short-lived.
Yeah, poor understanding of Eastern religion and philosophy on the bingo card.
If you're trying to identify whether you are in a karmic relationship and are not really sure, a pro tip is notice whether they can be happy for you.
I like this illustration, too. And it's not AI. Look, it's even signed Marcos Alvarado. That's a fun little illustration.
At all.
And it's got the checkerboard floor. Conspiracy theorists, you know what it is. It's the Freemasons.
It's hard for karmic connections to show genuine support because there's too many shadow aspects at play in this dynamic. And these dynamics are not deeply hidden either. They're surface level and easy to notice should one look for them. The possibility of transmutation with a twin flame relationship into an exalted state of consciousness and stable
there was
bliss
a boob in
is
that.
attainable.
There was
should
a
that
boob in
prospect
that.
be
In fairness, this video's been up for 3 years, so I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble for it. But she just showed a cartoon boob.
desired by both parties.
In fairness, YouTube is... Have you seen the shit? I don't know if anyone else watches August the Duck, but he just did some videos on the stuff that's, like, getting shown on YouTube now, and it's fucking absurd.
However, in all
I'm not gonna get into it super deep, but, like, look up August the Duck's video on some of the recent stuff that they've been allowing on YouTube. It blows my fucking mind.
honesty, there is no potential for transmutation in a karmic relationship, which is why it's called a karmic relationship. They exist to teach us harsh lessons and to tie up loose ends. We are drawn to these people, be they family, friendships, or love
You've
interests.
heard the channel, is he worth watching? He's fine. I don't have strong feelings either way. He does reaction content that's entertaining sometimes. It's decent background noise. Fennikagami says, that wasn't me being ableist. That was my life experience until I had to work with 2 people in their 50s for 4 years and they browbeat social skills into me in my late 20s. Oh, I didn't think you were being ableist. I found it relatable.
For karmic reasons.
Oh, he's got a website. I hope it's not yikesy. I hope it's just nice art. That's cute. Oh, good. Maybe he's not crazy himself. That's good. I like that brain one. He has prints. Wow. I actually like that print, too. That's cool. Anyway, where'd that go?
Like all relationships, they serve as a catalyst, but they do so in a backhanded way. They represent unhealthy patterns and detrimental behaviors within the self that need to be addressed in order to break that karmic loop and to heal that affinity once and for all. So twin flames can often share the tumultuousness of karmic partners and the passion of soulmate bonds, but are a completely different beast altogether. Although there are prominent stages within this kind of connection,
the beast with 2 quacks? Quacks as in, you know, like crazy... No? Okay.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach or outcome. You can experience the bliss of reunification with your twin flame. You can get caught in cycles of attracting and repelling.
Basically porn!
You can use a connection to avoid your own healing journey.
No, stop it!
You can use a connection to deepen your own healing journey. You can learn valuable
Don't
lessons
show me
in
your
both self-love
Ouroboros
and
porn!
unconditional love, thereby accelerating your own ascension process. So free will is at play here. What is always a wise aim is to heal from within and let the chips fall where they may. As with anything, it is up to the individual to make sure they are resonating with the concept of twin flames from as clear of a mental space as they can, and not from trauma bonding. I hope this has helped your journey in some capacity. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for higher dimensional guidance through spiritual awakenings.
He might be a little wacko, and then there's a link, Twin Flames toy. Well, that's a shame, but you know... Sometimes, in order to create great art, you have to be crazy. That's actually not true. That's a terrible trope that valorizes the suffering of people unnecessarily. You can make great art and just, like, be chill. It's too bad he's probably crazy, but what did I expect, really? Alright, I am hungry, so we're gonna call it, like, 10 minutes early today, just because... I need to go eat some goddamn mac and cheese. I'm gotta get ready, because I have work tomorrow early in the morning, too. So, I will not be streaming tomorrow, unfortunately, because I work all day. But, I will be streaming Thursday. So I will see y'all on Thursday. We'll do something fun together. It's been a while since we did like a public domania or a VHS, so we'll probably do something like that fun and watch some shows or a movie together. That'll be a good time. So I'll see you then. Have a wonderful evening, everyone, and let's see who we're going to raid on Twitch. If you can do me a favor, if you're on YouTube, like the stream, it helps a lot. If you're watching the VOD, maybe leave a comment. Let me know how you felt about anything you saw on the stream. And, yeah. Boo. We actually haven't raided VC Archives in a while. We'll raid VC Archives. Alright, have a wonderful evening, everyone, and I'll see you on Thursday. If I don't see you because you can't make it for some reason, then I'll see you after the 4th. Happy 4th of July, if anyone celebrates. All right, have a good night, everyone. See you soon!